Don't forget the thumb, baby. Don't forget the thumb. How y'all doing? Apparently there's been another assassination attempt. Antifa assassination plan to roll forward, almost costing Donald Trump his life. Key Iranian bagman to Antifa has been arrested.
Okay, hello everyone. George Webb here in Santa Monica, California, and the Antifa bagman, the Iranian Antifa bagman has been arrested. We said that Yurik was the key go-between for the Iranians, the Iranian bagman. The Iranian bagman has now been arrested. When does his metadata stop? It's supposedly been here for 6 months. We said in our IP data, looked like the locust drive was 6 month rental. 6 month rental near Crooks to set up Crooks as a shooter. 6 months. And we also have now the key IP metadata of the arrest, July 12th, of the bagman, the Antifa bagman, the Hezbollah Antifa bagman. He's arrested on July 12th. When's the last day all the devices are destroyed before the Trump assassination? July 12th. July 12th. Big breaking news here. Iranian Hezbollah contact into Antifa USA. Here I'm standing in Antifa headquarters USA, Santa Monica, California. The key guy, the key bagman from Iran, giving money to Yurik as Antifa. This was the role Paul Whelan played before Paul Whelan was arrested in 2018. Key bagman has been arrested in the Yurik case. They let this assassination go forward. They were going to stop it. Normally you would stop this. Normally an FBI informant would stop it. They let it go. They let the assassination roll forward, and it almost cost Donald Trump his life.
Today.
How they tricked the world into eating lubricant.
Crushing cotton seeds for oil. They sold it as engine lubricant, and some guy said, hey, maybe we could eat the oil. Yeah, see it in 1911 Crisco as a flea market. Their cottonseed oil, everyone ate Crisco. Oh yeah, now in 2024 we all need a 5-ton of oil for corn, canola, soy, sunflower oil.
That's just nasty. This is God's creation. Them are all bugs. Look at them. Praying mantis. That's beautiful, man.
Incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material.
Flat Earth, what's his name? Where you calling from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, how you doing? What's your name?
How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. What's your name?
What y'all talking about today on the show?
We're talking about all kind of stuff. The Ukrainian shit. We're talking about the UK riots. Talking about the election that was stolen here in Georgia. They're talking about that. Bunch of stuff's been going on about that. They're having some hearings up there in Atlanta right now today, live. What you got going on?
Nothing much. I just don't realize that it's all a show. It's one big movie.
It's all a movie.
They got a bunch of actors up there, just action taking place, and they don't even know what the hell they got going on. Okay?
Yeah, well, how are you watching the show? Are you watching on YouTube or?
Yeah, YouTube, Kick.com, all that stuff. I'm watching all of them.
Oh, you're watching all of them at one time?
At one time, yeah, I got multiple streaming. I'm streaming multiple.
Oh, that's pretty good.
These iPhone 14s are badass.
It's a 4. You got a 14?
I got a 14, yeah, iPhone
Damn.
14.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's.
But,
Hey, did he pay you yet?
This is bunch of bullshit going on, man. This big wake up, it ain't nothing but just a bunch of hackers up there. They
Okay, what's the company name?
It's
But they
Jordan.
just gotta realize they
Jordan
all
Carriers.
not playing.
So I can go ahead and cut them loose?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, hold up. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I got a call. I got some Texas out on a service call. I got to call and release them and tell them they can come on back to the shop.
I'll tell them go ahead and release.
Yeah, go ahead and release them. They should be watching this show.
They are watching the show. I'm talking with them.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them they can go ahead and go back.
All right, tell them to go ahead and go back.
Yeah. All right, then. All right, then. You need to get that Mac running. We got a Mac over here, 2009 Mac over here that's running. It's a 600 model.
2009 Mac.
2009 Mac is for sale. We got the title right here. Got the title right here.
All right, man. All right, man. You do it, Tom. God bless you, man. Have a good one.
All right, then. Well, I can't be tying up this line. This is a show line.
All right, then.
This is a show line, and I'm probably hold on. I got to call them guys and tell them they go ahead and cut loose. They'll be
All right, then.
they'll be sitting over there all day long on that service call.
Yeah, they probably are.
Buck's done.
Probably sitting there a whole lot longer than this is working like it's supposed to. But since it ain't, they probably come on back.
Need to check on that, get it fixed. That's what I do.
Yeah.
He'll probably sell it to you for cost. Now the labor's $150 an hour.
All right, 150 an hour, you got that? All right, then, we got that.
All right.
We good.
All right.
Oh, there goes the man. Brown.
All right, I'll see you over here.
All right, later.
All right, later.
Follow up with identification arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious. People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them. The offence of
Consequences
incitement to
will be
racial hate-
visited upon them. You remember what you said there, Paco? Sound like you're threatening people that they can't use their free speech. Well, you can't over there in England. You don't have the free speech like we do here in America. Well, we don't have it over here in America either. Really. Not factually we don't. Because you can't say certain things over here in America without YouTube giving you a hard strike. Commie pinko sons of bitches. Or them taking them, demonetizing you. Yellow. Yeah, go through that gate. It should be closed. Is it closed or open? That gate shouldn't be open. There shouldn't be nobody be over there. No, not that one. You got to go to the big building. The big building that's at the end there, the cul-de-sac. The KLLM building. No, not if you're going up with the arms, are you not? The arm. You got when you come straight down the street, the one that's straight on. Yeah, not to the left. They ain't got water on over there. We're gonna have some work over there too, but they ain't got the water on over there yet. Yeah, you go through that gate. There's a gate up there. You see the gate? That gate shouldn't be open either. Yeah, black gate should be closed. Yeah, they're 10-10 and 10-25. Both of them are. It shouldn't be. Well, no, I'll give you the code when you come back out, but that thing should be closed. Go to the front door. I got a lockbox. I got a lockbox code. It's got the key inside there. There shouldn't be nobody over there. Yeah, you put the code in and it opens up. There's a lockbox on the front door and I'll give you the code to it. What nation has influence over most others? Israel. What is the keystone? Power brokers are also labeled as puppets and servants. Iran. Who controls several agencies within the U.S., EU, and abroad? Israel. Why is Russia helping to kill ISIS? Israel. Where did you advance the sword coward tonight? 65-25.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
What's that? Go straight through that door right there, and you'll go to the right and go down that hallway and take a left, and you'll see the showers and the bathrooms. Go to the when you go into the lobby right there. Go to the right. Go down that hallway to the left. Go straight down there, and like halfway down that hallway there should be a turn to the left and go to the showers. There's a row of showers and bathrooms. Yeah, and the ones on the left hand, so when you turn in there, the first two wouldn't flush it. It's got the vacant things on. It's them first two when you turn in there. I think's the ones that was messed up. No, they're side by side. On the left, if you're looking back toward the way you come out. Yeah, it should be. Open the door up. You should be able to see them. Okay, but that's it. Yeah. All right, make sure when you come up out there, make sure you put them keys back in the box. Okay, let me know. Thank you. Bye. And that's Pocahontas. Now Kamala's got to look at her wrinkles right there on the wrinkles. Look at her lips. Oh, cheered up.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Members of Congress, the state.
There's a commie right there. That's Bernie Sanders. Russian son of a bitch.
Of our union is strong.
Ooh, who is that? That's McCain. That's old no-name McCain. That's his wife. There's that Mormon guy. He's a traitor.
Tonight,
whole room full of traitors right here. Probably only 2 or 3 it ain't.
we renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country.
Look, Nancy's sitting her ass. So get your ass up and clap for that, Nancy. Y'all ain't clapping for that? Hey, bartender, I need me a kamikaze. You know how to make a kamikaze? How about a 3-legged monkey? That's a Crown 7-Up lime. Crown 7-Up lime. And it's shaking. Shaking and not stirred. You probably don't know how to make it.
People are working now than at any time in the history of our country. 157 million people at work.
There's no Chucky Schumer. Look at his eye. He looks like the penguin.
Must always keep faith.
And he's the one that said, reap the whirlwind. There's 6 ways from Sunday to get back at Trump. He was the one who was telling Trump that the CIA was going to get him. How come? Because he's probably been threatened, or he's working with the ones that's threatening people.
In America's destiny that one nation,
That's Swallow Whale.
under God, must be the hope and the promise and the light and the glory among all
There's old
the
Adam Schiff,
nations of
Lion
the
Adam
world.
Schiff.
Thank you, God bless
Lion
you,
Adam Schiff.
and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Everybody hurts
Sometime. Sometime. Everybody hurts sometime. Border Czar Kamala does not want you to see this. She don't want you to see this shit that they doing right here. Biden-Harris administration released Daniel Hernandez Martinez into the United States without any legal justification. Mere months after his release, Hernandez Martinez began terrorizing New York City, committing at least 22 criminal offenses within a span of just 6 months. Menacing, assault, third-degree criminal possession of a weapon, menacing, possession of burglar tools, aggravated harassment, attempted assault, petty larceny. Authorities suspect Hernandez Martinez is a member of a dangerous Sandor Arguer prison gang, despite prolific criminal career in the U.S. Suspected gang affiliation. There are no records in his file to demonstrate that ICE has removed him from the country. Probably needs to be removed from society. Don't seem like he's got that much going for him. And, how many times you got to give this boy a chance to turn his life around and start becoming a productive member of society? We done exhausted all means you got one chance and one chance only to tighten your ass up after you're released out of prison. If you go back to the life of crime, we're going to take you out right out here. Right down there. You pick one, three choices. So you can't just be putting people to death out there because they ain't living right. Well, yeah, you can. Y'all don't want Jamie in charge. Y'all don't want Jamie in charge. Look at her cackling. That's cackling Kamala. Kamala the cackler. She's a cackling whore, is what she is. Sure is hot there, Gibson. It is hot out there, buddy. I was sweating my ass off yesterday. We was going down there to cut the grass for Frank. Frank's done give me the wrong address. So I cut the yard at this wrong address. Call Frank and go, hey, yeah, we got it. He said, where you at? I said, bro, the address you sent me to. What are you talking about? Oh, that's not the right address. I said, well, you're going to get charged. You're getting charged for it. And then he gives me another address, and I go over to this address, and that's it. Nathan's there. Nathan comes out and says, hey, how you doing, Jamie? What's going on, man? I said, I got a weed eater over here for you. And he said, I ain't using no weed eater. I said, yeah, you are. And I put him to work. Made that boy, he was working when I left. It was about dark. But he was cutting grass out there with the best of them. Gigi's probably going to be mad because I had him out there working. But Frank said, yeah, that's the wrong address. I said, you give me the damn address. I said, what is this, some kind of scheme you got going on where you got me cutting your friends' yards? You just popping up, throwing me addresses, and I go cut them and tell you I'm through cutting them, and then you go, well, that's the wrong place. That's bullshit. You're getting charged. You're getting charged. Get him on here. Where's he at? No, he gave me an address. It was the wrong address.
On this, there's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute. Let me remove this flag and put up this Somali flag over here. Somebody needs to drag this sumbitch out of office. Tar and feather him. Tar and feather him. That's Somalia's flag. Yeah, that looks sort of like Somalia's flag there. Sit your fat ass down, you commie pinko.
It's done.
Giving driver's license to illegal aliens, it's done. Who voted for this shit?
A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made
Look at all them women up there. Them bitches need to be at the house.
driver's license for all, the law of the land.
So we are an hour and 12
Here we go.
minutes past curfew. And right now, the protesters rule the streets. The National Guard, nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen because the governor let them do it.
The state police, nowhere to be seen.
And I heard he's number 6 on the list of governors that put people in the nursing homes that had the COVID.
The local police, nowhere to be seen. The sheriff's department, nowhere to be seen. The protesters are the ones that feel like these streets are their streets, which you will hear people chant.
Seeing a plan that's out there, talking about it with folks, knowing that he's not going to do anything. He talks about
Apparently
this
he's
wall.
got ties to China,
I always say,
too.
let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
The purpose of being here is we've been signing a lot of bills. We've been welcoming our neighbors back into their communities by making sure we're restoring voting rights to folks. We're making sure that our neighbors can drive to their kids' soccer games. So today, I am directing my state agencies to take action
back in the
to
back
protect and
right
support
there.
the rights of Minnesota's LGBTQIA+ community.
Legalize trans, Gentile mutilation. Surgeries for children. He signed the legislation to legalize that.
Here you go.
Y'all clapping for that shit. Oh, this is Olympic tryouts right here. This is some of the best the world has to offer. They've been practicing their whole lives for this opportunity. It's volleyball. Here we got some Olympic swimmers, probably a high dive artist right here. She's working out low right here, so she ain't got to. Because when you climb, you got to climb high. You don't get to put as many repetitions in as if you're down here low. Now, up high, when you're doing a high dive, you're further away from the water, and you can do more flips and shit like that. Down here, you got to bounce and get way up high. Now I don't know how many. What was that one where he did the Monty, the Lindy, the Lindy? He started off on the high dive, did a backflip, landed on this one. Second one down. Second one down, bounced on that one, did another backflip, landed on that one, did a frontward flip into a cannonball. Said he practiced it on the piers. Oh, I got this. Watch out, watch out. What? Oh, that stick broke. Hold it. Boom. Missed it totally. Good thing we got all these nice cushy foam things down here for y'all girls to crash into when you don't know how to do gymnastics. We need some men in there showing these girls how to do it. Well, that one black girl, they say that she is a man. Oh, does it count if you fall? I think that's your turn. When you leave the board and hit the water, I think that you don't get but one shot. Look like she's up there windmilling it, trying to stay. That's a balance beam is what they call that. Looks like she's losing her balance. Let's see if she can regain it. She's got the turkey arms going. Oh, yes, she did it. Woo, pulled it out. That's a 10 right there. Oh, Lord, who put that shit together right there? Somebody put, is that from IKEA? Somebody put that shit together and they got a leftover with a whole box full of bolts and nuts. Boom, straight down into the water. That was she tried to Lindy. Oh, all the way around to a belly flop. Boom. Boom, yeah. Hey-ya. That's when you released at the wrong place, when you zigged when you should have zagged. Boom, right on her head. Hey, that's one of the worst sports in the world for kids is gymnastics. And what are you gonna do with it? What kind of job are you gonna go out and get? You should be going to school to learn a profession, so you can take care of yourself when you move out of me and your mama's house. When we get tired of putting up with your bullshit and paying all your damn grocery bills and your mom wants to get you a car, and I said bullshit. You can get your ass a job and get a car if you want to ride. And whose phone are you using? Where did you get that cell phone at? I wonder why my damn cell phone bill don't went up. That's hell no. Me and your mama's finna have a talk. Hello? Hello?
Hello, this is Lucy from
Hey, Lucy, how you doing? Apparently this guy put, Tim Walls is his name, Tim Walls. Apparently he put tampons in the boys' bathroom. What is that for? Why would you put tampons in the boys' bathroom? Is it cause, are you doing it for gentlemen that's being courteous to their girlfriends or their wives? Well, they're not their wives in school. I don't think nobody's getting married in school. But are they doing it because, is it like a backup supply in case they run out over in the girls' bathroom? They come over and go, they ain't stocked ours. Could you get me one out there? And they go, yeah, I got you, girl. And they go in and get her a tampon. Guys can't wear tampons. Some of them can. Some of them can. How big's your pee hole? About that big around. Well, you don't put it in your pee hole, Jamie. That's where I put mine, is in my pee hole every time I use one. Last time and I got one coming on. It's coming up on 28 days. I can feel it because I'm getting bloated. You're fat. It's not. I'm retaining water because it's coming up on my time of the month, and you better stop.
It's a balance.
Because I get awful cranky. But I took that damn, and it was one of them Pearl Tampax things. And they pulled it out, and it's got a string on the end of it that is just flapping around right there. I like to take that string and tie a knot in it so it don't slip out. It's like a slip knot. And then when you pull that thing out real quick like that, and the blood squirts everywhere, it's terrible. It's nasty. I changed mine out in the shower.
There's like an argument that's happening inside of the Jewish.
Ye reveals that he was not allowed to go on the Daily Wire due to him saying that black people were possibly the real Israelites. Ain't the Daily Wire, ain't that Ben Shapiro? I think it is. That's why we're in your house right now, because they wouldn't let me talk on Daily Wire.
Media right now, like, do we give him the platform? Do we not give him the platform?
Because not giving you the platform is almost proving.
This is why MAGA's weird.
Yeah. Right? So if you have
why is that, Conscious? We're just following along with y'all's rules. And y'all started this shit. I'm just playing the game. I'm one of the best game players in the world at this from y'all's rules. All I got, you just got to show me your rules, and then I can adapt and overcome and play. And what do they call it? When Trump said, when Hillary Clinton was talking about the taxes and all this, she said, you change the rules. I'm using the rules that y'all put out here. Y'all put these tax loopholes in there, and you know why they won't change them? And Trump told you all to your face. He said, because her donors benefit from them, and they won't change them. So I'm just using the loopholes and shit that y'all put in here. Y'all said I could be black. Y'all said I could be anything I want to be. So I'm a black Jewish lesbian. Thank you very much. Hey, you can't say I can do whatever I want to and can't get no trouble. Yes, you can, Jamie. They're going to get you.
Decision that you're not allowed to be on the platform, then you go...
Yeah, I heard myself there, moron.
Okay, well, you put my point, right?
Whereas that's why we're in your house right now. Because they wouldn't let us talk on Daily Wire, specifically for me having the claim, the possibility that the darker Jew known as blacks that came from Africa could possibly be Israelites, that could possibly be Jew.
And I was just to be super open, I was confused by it, because I'm like, are we saying that there's no such thing as black Israelis? They live in Israel. So I don't know, maybe Kanye descends from it, maybe I descend from it, who knows, right? So I don't know why I'm making that claim. Like, if you got up here right now and you were like, I'm a white male, why would you need to be deplatformed for that? Like, why would that be such a thing that you couldn't say? That I'd be like, oh my God, I'm not allowed to say that you're a white male. Like, we cannot have you on the show.
And maybe people, if people could be transgender, why couldn't people
right, that's what I mean. Like, what's the big deal? Let's pretend that you're completely making it up. Why can't you just say that? Like, why is that information, like, you thinking that so crazy that it can't be said, you know?
If people could be transgender, why couldn't they be trans race? You can define who you are.
Rachel Dolezal was trans race. She got her OnlyFans. She's not deplatformed. She didn't get her Twitter account taken or Instagram taken.
Q. Did you hear yourself? I heard myself perfectly fine. Did you hear what I said? Camilla campaign website has absolutely no policies about how to make America great again. How about the American flag? The then LGQBZDF. Get ready. This isn't a game, folks. It's real.
The Somali flag. I mean, it's a dead ringer for the flag of Somalia. It's got the highest population of Somalis than any other state in America.
That's because Obama sent 80,000 up there.
America. And you look at Kamala Harris's website, we noticed this the other day. Good luck finding an American flag on there. Good luck finding one policy. One. Nothing. You know what it is? It's LGBTQ pride merch. That's what's on her website. You go to the Trump website, it's covered in American flags. His motto is Make America Great Again. It's his campaign slogan. He's got his former Marine out there. They talk about America and their love of country at every turn. And so I do see this dividing pretty quickly into the pair that loves America and what it stands for, and the pair that doesn't. Well, let's change the Minnesota flag to look almost exactly like the Somali flag. I mean, it's a dead ringer for the flag of Somalia. It's got the highest population of Somalis than any other state in America. And you look at Kamala Harris's website, we noticed this the other day. Good luck finding an American flag on there. Good luck finding one policy. One. Nothing. You know what it is? It's LGBTQ pride merch. That's what's on her website. You go to the Trump website, it's covered in American flags. His motto is Make America Great Again. It's his campaign slogan. He's got his former Marine out there. They talk about America and their love of country at every turn. And so I do see this dividing pretty quickly into the pair that loves America and what it stands for, and the pair that doesn't. Well, let's change the Minnesota flag to look almost exactly like the Somali flag. I mean,
change it to look like the Somali flag. We don't want nobody to see the difference. Chinese PLA soldiers launching a biometric bird drone while riding motorized skateboards. What the hell? Hello? Coming up where? You don't want to come up here. You don't want. You need to get that shit out from over there on that other side, on that other yard over there. Yep, you need to get it out from over there. Supposed to. Let me call that lady. We're supposed to dump this morning. All right. There's some riots going on in the UK over there. Jennifer, this is going over your neighborhood. Hey Nicole, this is Jamie with Chapman. Give me a call back, please. 678-410-2039. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. That's happening over in Jennifer's part of the woods. Favorite. Lord, you woke up today. Hello. Hello. Hey. I don't have no electrician out there. So what's up? There should be power in that building. All right, so you're saying this, the pumps ain't coming on? Okay. Holding water over there?
Hey, you want to get one of these? I got 3 sandwiches. You want one for $1?
Yeah, I get one. Okay. Big Liberty. So it's big. So what do you recommend we do? To test the box where the pump's at?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Well, that's what I'm saying. There is power in that building because we checked it yesterday.
We're on double CJ.
That's fine. That's fine. Have him come out there and look at it. All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chris. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, just go ahead and say it.
Yeah, I got what it is they got investors coming through. And they wanted it cleaned up and looking good.
Hang on. I hope I didn't leave you in the car. Let's go back down and get my day. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. Okay, here's what we got, okay? We got 16.9 acres.
Yeah, we did when we did it yesterday.
Clearing, grubbing, and stripping everything, the topsoil removal and all, okay? The price per acre on that need to be about probably 13,000 or so an acre, and that's including the grinding.
Oh, so you think it's something with the pump in there?
Yeah, you put it about 14,000 if you think, you know? Okay. Topsoil and all that. I don't know how much we'll have of that, but
Look, there was an alarm going off in there. We silenced it.
and then we're gonna have
There was a red box in there with an alarm going off.
30, huh? Yeah. That's
Jody just
okay,
pushed it
then
on,
we're
push
gonna have
silent on it.
32,000 cubic
It had
yards.
error on it, error 002 and error 001.
Hang on. $32,000 cubic yards of muck and really nasty dirt hauled off site to a dump.
Are you back inside?
Figured about 400.
Time now for Decision 2024. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris and her newly announced running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, return to the campaign trail.
The duo held a rally for the first time together last night in Pennsylvania as Harris seeks to introduce voters to the new Democratic Party ticket. NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest from Washington, D.C.
Commercial fire system.
The new Democratic ticket taking the stage in Pennsylvania. We are the underdogs in this race. But we have the momentum. Vice President Kamala Harris tapping Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. The 60-year-old former teacher is a veteran of the National Guard, gun owner, and known for his progressive policies.
In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make.
Was that something y'all do?
Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Political experts tell me his Midwestern appeal brings a strong balance to the ticket.
He's got a dad profile, an everyday guy sort of profile that counterbalances really interestingly nicely Harris's cosmopolitan sort of coastal elite vibe that stands out.
But according to a recent poll, many Americans say they've never heard of Walz.
I have no idea who that man is, but I'm going to do research.
The Trump campaign is painting a grim picture of the duo in this new ad.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They're failed, weak, and dangerously liberal.
J.D. Vance is launching similar attacks.
The biggest problem with the Tim Walz pick, it's not Tim Walz himself, it's what it says about Kamala Harris. That when given an opportunity, she will bend the knee to the most radical elements of her party.
Both campaigns are hitting battleground states as Democrats seek to build on momentum while Republicans look to regain it. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
It's going to be a fight to the finish for both those parties. Vice President Harris had just 16 days to select a running mate. In picking Tim Walz, chemistry was key here. Harris was also convinced that he would have her back and not let his personal ambitions get in the way. He told her he had no intention of ever running for president.
Vice President Harris and Governor Walz will hold rallies in Wisconsin and in Michigan today. J.D. Vance also set to deliver remarks in those key battleground states. More Wake Up Idaho after this.
More Wake Up Idaho.
What are they, you know? Okay, let me know, or hit me and just let me know so I can kind of put them in my thing, but I'm going to change how they look a little bit, okay? All right, this is a proposal to a...
God bless freedom of speech. God bless freedom of religion on public property.
My name is Jeff Gray. I am a First Amendment advocate. I'm also an advocate for homeless veterans, and I have a YouTube channel called Honor Your Oath Civil Rights Investigation. There was 3 towns in Georgia where I peacefully and politely asserted the most basic, fundamental, and well-established rights of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly on a public sidewalk.
Jennifer!
One city said you can't protest without permission from the mayor. Another had Jeff arrested because staff there didn't want someone holding a sign that said, God bless the homeless vets.
He just stand in front of my city hall from the fence.
And police in a third city said it was disorderly conduct to say something controversial like God bless the homeless vets.
In response to my rights being violated, I filed 3 civil rights lawsuits in the state of Georgia with fire, and we won all 3 lawsuits. I joined the Army back when I was a teenager. I was looking for an adventure, so I joined the Army to go out and see things and learn new things. When I got out of the United States Army, I became a truck driver in civilian life, and I did that for about 25 years and retired from it. So that was a big help in my civilian life.
He's a veteran.
So I started my YouTube channel back in 2011, and I had no idea that it was going to be as big as it is. My motivations for doing this type of activism are to teach the general public that we have rights, how to stand up for their rights.
You got rights.
And also to teach our police officers and law enforcement officers to respect our rights. I like to go to city halls in different locations. I like to stand in front of these city halls with my God Bless the Homeless Veterans sign and spread that message of compassion and love for our homeless veterans. And the reason I like to go to city halls to do it is because the city halls, that's the place where the people that pass the laws that are anti-free speech and anti-homeless, that's where they pass the laws. So I'm spreading this message directly to them to hopefully put some compassion in their hearts. One of my favorite things that happen when I go out with my God Bless the Homeless Veterans sign, or I do any of my type of activism with First Amendment activity, is the positive encounters that I have with the police.
You guys are the Lance County Sheriff's Office.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. You're not violating any law. You're not violating the Constitution. You're not violating.
Okay. God bless you, Sergeant.
Hey, man, no problem.
Thank you.
I know you ain't impaired. Mr. Gray, you ain't going to get through this. How are you doing, man? Jay Killier.
I'm Jeff. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know.
As a matter of fact, the most viewed videos that I have on my YouTube channel are the positive encounters I have with the police, because that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to happen.
Not
I
all
want
kinds
the
of bad.
police to respect our rights, to understand our rights, and not violate our rights. Unfortunately, my rights have been violated more often than not. I expect my rights to be violated pretty much every time I go out because it's the norm and it's not the exception. And that's one of the things that I'm out to change, is to get these cities and these law enforcement officers to start respecting our civil rights.
I stumbled across one of Jeff's videos and I was appalled. You don't have to be a lawyer to recognize when police are violating the First Amendment.
Choose handcuffs. Turn around. Turn around.
We wanted to help Jeff show how important it is that officers understand the First Amendment. One of the important ways Jeff and Fire were able to change the law was in the city of Alpharetta in Georgia. After police told Jeff that they thought he was panhandling, we said, wait, how often are police telling people they can't ask other people for money? Because asking people for money is speech protected by the First Amendment. So we used public records requests and found out that the city of Alpharetta was regularly telling people that it's always illegal to ask other people for money, taking away the last thing many of them had left, their voice. That's why when Jeff and Fire sued, we insisted that the city agree to end that practice.
My hope with these lawsuits with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression is that it will promote and protect civil rights for all of us, and that it will encourage everyone to get involved and stand up for their civil rights on their own, in their own communities, and with their own governments.
The city of Alpharetta agreed to ban police from telling people that panhandling is unlawful, agreed to train police officers on the First Amendment, and paid $55,000 to settle the suit. The city of Blackshear rescinded an ordinance requiring permission from the mayor to protest. The city of Port Wentworth apologized and announced that people can protest outside of its city hall. Blackshear and Port Wentworth each donated $1,791, representing the year the First Amendment was ratified, to the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, and then you got your fries.
Yeah.
So, okay, you need the other fries, sandwich, and drink some buck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you want Buck to have it, or I got it for your secretary, but she already ate.
That's cool. I'll give it a book. Or Joe.
Yeah. I stopped there. I told you, $41 for these sweet meals. You believe that?
$41.
Yeah. Not bullshit, man.
What the hell?
Well, you see, it's 3 doubles, 3 fries, 3 drinks, a frosty.
You must be rich.
No. But the last couple times I missed getting you something to eat, so I wanted to get something.
It's nice, man. I appreciate the shit out of it. I ain't eaten since you last time you was over here.
Yeah, boy. Hey, look here, man. I'm gonna write this up, and she can type it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Can your guy look at my AC while I'm here on my truck? It's working. But
If they're back down there, they can.
What?
They was on the service call. If they're back, they can.
You know, when I'm sitting at a light, for a few minutes or something, it gets warm, like, and I tried to charge it last night, and it's in the green, but it's, I don't know what it is, man. It starts to run warm when you're sitting there. Then I cleaned the condenser and all that on the radiator and all. I washed it all out last night. You know, cleaned it real good.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing it, but man, it gets hot quick in there. And it shouldn't, should it? I know it's not supposed to. It just
Let me see if they got back. If they got back off that service call, they can pull it in there and look at it.
And I don't think it's low on free. I don't think it's a Freon being low. I don't know. And I've got a little Freon with me.
Hey, y'all got back over here?
Yeah, we're back.
Come over here for a minute.
We're at the office.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Small town tyrants. When's Trump supposed to be talking?
What do you think about Trump getting shot like that?
They're trying to kill him.
You really think they are?
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to kill him.
That was a kid who shot him, though, man.
That wasn't no kid that shot him. That guy was a patsy. He was the fall guy. Somebody else shot at Trump.
Oh, he wasn't really
No, he was a fall guy, patsy.
Why is he dead?
Same reason Oswald's did. So they got somebody to blame.
And there's no talking.
Yeah, they got. Well, look, we killed this guy. Well, ain't nothing else to see here.
Boy, the FBI people or whoever Secret Service are in big trouble, aren't they? And they were being told, look at the guy with the gun going up there.
They let that shit happen, man.
They didn't do nothing about it, did they?
Nope. Look, Iran is bombing hospital. Iran is bombing refugees. See all that shit going on over in Israel?
Take it. Take it. No. Go
With
to your, what's it called?
Israel over there killing all the people in Gaza.
Because I'm reporting
And now they're going to be fighting with Iran.
Because you're an asshole.
It's in days, man.
Oh, because I'm an asshole. Yes.
That's your only goal?
You don't touch people property.
Which one?
You do not touch people property.
And I did.
Okay.
Jewish people.
So I'm reporting your ass.
You're
and because you touched my stuff. You scratched my car.
I don't think so.
You scratched my car. That's what you did.
You can't. Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, they are. They are.
You did.
You can't say nothing about this.
Okay, so you just admitted to it on here. So when when you just admitted to it on here, and then I'm turning you in, I'm turning because you don't touch people's stuff. You don't touch people's stuff. For what you just did, weasel.
I swear I poured class.
Take it.
Thank you, sir.
Take it. Take it. No.
I got so much.
Go to your, what's it called? You can have that guy, but you don't get your badge back because I'm reporting you. Because you're an asshole.
That's a double in there.
Oh, because I'm an asshole.
Yes.
That's your only goal?
You don't touch people properly.
Like a week
You
and a
do
half.
not touch people properly. Okay. So I'm reporting your ass. And because you touched my stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You scratched my car.
Let him check his truck for the AC.
You scratched my car.
He said it gets hot when he goes
did.
red light.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'm understood.
Okay, so you just admitted to it on here. So when when you just admitted to it on here, and then I'm turning you in, because you don't touch people's stuff. That's why you don't touch people's stuff. For what you just did, you weasel.
And you know,
Take it. Take it. Take it. No. Go to your, what's it called? You can have that badge, but you don't get your badge back because I'm reporting you. Because you're an asshole, that's why.
Oh, because I'm an asshole?
Yes.
That's your only goal?
And we're leaving at
You
like
don't
4.
touch people properly. You do not touch
So you don't get no
people
overtime. We'll go over and do that cleanup.
Okay. So I'm reporting your ass. Because you touched my stuff. You scratched my car.
Cleaned the radiator and the condenser last night. You know, I put some cleaner stuff in it.
Dog's butt and a humidity washes in.
Pretty good help in that.
Factual.
Right. Still doing the same thing. Yeah, and maybe I didn't get it that clean. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I don't like.
We'll check that out, see what's going on for you.
But I put a bunch of that, what's that stuff called? Not full.
Real far away. What?
Purple power in there.
Yeah, if you're real far away from the
And
counter.
I use that stuff as air conditioners to clean the coils.
Right.
I sprayed that all up in there.
All right. We'll look at it see what's going on.
State Senate in Florida.
Push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy. I think we need to push back.
J.D. Vance after physically walking up to Kamala Harris's plane to ask why she's hiding from reporters. Flat Earth, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, man? Just Conscious Mo, man. How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
What you think about her VP pick?
Our VP pick? Yeah, I think he's a joke. What do you think about it?
I think he's cool. I mean, she really could go wrong with the
You think he's cool? You think he's cool because he allows transgender surgeries and shit, or do you like him because he give?
What do you mean he's allowing it?
He signed it into law that they can do the surgeries up there, or do you like it because he give a driver's license to illegals? Do you like that part about it?
I never heard that. But how can it?
Well, what do you mean you never heard that part? This is your VP pick. You should be hearing this shit.
Research has never heard that.
Well, yeah, do it. I'm playing the videos right here where he signed it into law.
Only my last name is the French highway dude. But I mean, I got to check it.
Yeah, you need to check it out.
From what other pretty decent building.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
What?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Economy.
You know what the first clue that he's a bad guy is?
What's that?
He's a Democrat.
Are Democrats American?
Are they Americans?
Yes.
Yeah, they're Americans. A lot of them have just been lost. They forgot where they come from. Forgot about taking care of America first and all that shit.
Don't you think that Democrats feel the same way about MAGA?
I don't know why you'd feel that way about MAGA. We're not in favor of giving illegals driver's license.
Just because that y'all still believe the lie about the election.
Well, hold on. They got something going on in Georgia today about that. They got something going on today about that up there. About the stolen election in Georgia. Hold on, let's see. Oh yeah, that's what they're saying. And that's going on today. It's up at the damn Capitol.
That's what I'm saying. State in Georgia.
Yeah, hold up. Breaking Georgia State Election Board member Dr. Janice Johnston says that in the last year, 4 Georgia county election systems have been hacked, opening up concerns that there could be now back doors. Citizens were locked out of the monumental Georgia election meeting today where machine hacking was exposed. This is going on today, moron. So you're not up to date on this shit? The same shit we told you before. And you said there ain't no fraud. There ain't no fraud going on.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Hold on a minute. What? Hold on what?
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough fraud to overturn.
What do you mean enough of it?
It was actually a massive amount.
It was a massive amount, moron.
How many?
A podcast.
I don't know. Let's get it in court and see.
How can you say massive if you don't know?
How can you say there's not massive if you don't know? How can you say there's not massive if you don't know? You don't even know about this shit.
And they have comments about it and stuff.
You didn't even know about this shit. We told you this shit before.
Podcast. It's pretty interesting.
We showed you the videos where they were sitting in there in the hearings and said we're in the machines now sitting here. They had hacked into the machines inside the hearings. I played them videos for you back in 2020. Go research your shit. Vote Democrat there, moron. J.D. Vance, after physically walking up to Kamala Harris's plane to ask why she's hiding from reporters, hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months. I also thought you guys might get lonely because VP doesn't answer questions from reporters.
I know that. I just want to know,
I figured I'd come by and
I didn't say that,
my plane in a few months, but
Because
the vice president doesn't answer questions.
I haven't got nothing but $40 in the
To give you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from the Congress.
$600 that's on fuel.
Nobody? Okay, great. Well,
I don't want to do this over the phone. I don't look at it.
I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from a basement with a teleprompter. So, have a good one, guys. See ya.
What would you like to hear from her?
Let her answer the questions. I'd love her to just answer what she wants to do and also explain why every single position she has is changed. She pretends to be a prosecutor, yet she pretends to be a tough-on-crime prosecutor, and yet here she is wanting to keep on the police. She's the border czar, yet she's opened up the American southern border. This is a person who has to answer the questions from the media, and it's disgraceful that she runs for the police. It's also insulting to the American people. But anyway, we're going to go do our event. I appreciate you guys being here. I wish she paid you some more attention. See ya.
Okay, you call her. Okay? Because
Tens of people showing up for this huge rally on EU Claire, Wisconsin with Kamala Harris, Board Czar, and Tim Walz tampon. It's huge. Look at this rally for Harris Walz. Look at it. Record crowd. Record crowd.
that was it, you know.
If I was the person running,
All right, call her and remind
showed
her.
up, my support was
Okay?
this little,
She probably didn't have that
I'd
down,
probably
you know? Or maybe,
give up.
Maybe she's
Civil War, yes. Oh, of course. Who do you think is pushing? I mean, it's all on instinct. With the weaponization of media, social media, bots, all the lies in the division. I mean, of course. Who do you think is pushing it? Or are we already in it?
We're in definitely an undeclared conflict. It's a conflict, of course. I don't think it's ever fully articulated anywhere by anybody, but it's a conspiracy of like-minded instincts, as I noted at the beginning. People from the same class, the beneficiaries of our current system, understand what people all understand intuitively, which is divide and conquer. The Israel protests. The biggest thing happening in America is a fight in a faraway country. Huh? No. Over 100,000 people has died of fentanyl this year. Like, what? I'm not even taking a position on the Israel thing. I'm coming at this from very limited interest, actually, and I'm not against Israel. But if you're telling me that conflict is the biggest thing happening in my country, fuck you, actually. Because no, it's not. Pro-Israel or it doesn't even matter. Like, I'm American. Like, what?
I feel like we're being pushed into civil war.
Yes. Oh, of course.
Who?
We are. Who's doing it? Those people right there.
Man, it's hot in here.
Is it? Yep, it's hot.
Why is it so hot in here?
Cause it's hot.
Your AC doesn't do enough?
You don't feel it? You're sitting right there in front of it.
No, it ain't doing much.
Virus does to people. This is a leftist protest rally in the UK. We're doing the show. You've been talking on the show the whole time. People's asking what's going on in the background.
What's all that noise?
That's the video. Yeah, that's over in the UK. Had them 3 little girls that got stabbed over there.
What happened?
Somebody stabbed and killed 3 little girls last week at a dance thing.
How old were they?
Young girls.
Like 18 or less?
No, like kids, like 8, 9 years old.
Oh my God.
Stabbed them, killed them.
What?
Some immigrant they let in over there.
That don't sound right, does it?
Nope.
3 of them dead.
Killed 3 of them and injured some other ones. And they're over there in the streets raising hell now in England.
How many people were involved in that?
One person.
One person did it all by himself?
Yeah, but it's going on every day over there.
Did they
That gives us access to the
Yeah, they caught him.
11,000 hours of video that's available. Because there may be
1,000 hours of January 6th footage. Footage could not be released due to undercover agents in the footage.
Be used.
Hey, conscious moron, whistleblower, FBI said FBI said you can't release the footage, the January 6th footage, because it's got undercover agents out there in the crowd starting to shit.
Sees undercover officers or CHS's confidential human sources on those videos whose identity we need to protect.
So, Mr. Allen, you got retaliated against.
Those individuals were inside the Capitol.
Conscious.
To which the SSA.
Wake up, conscious. Now shaping up to be abortion-loving feminists, beta males, transgenders versus masculine men, and feminine women who believe in family and the American dream.
From the moment of conception. So a person is gay from the moment of conception, but a person isn't a person from the moment of conception? Got it. So a person is gay from the moment of conception, but a person...
תעקוס, לא, מה עושים לבחורצ'יק הזה?
They rioted to be able to rape. Their politicians defended rape. Their TV shows defended rape. These people don't share our values. That's what happened in Israel. There's a video of that shit this morning. Of that happening. Somebody getting raped in the prison over there.
Well, I don't know where though to go to buy them.
I know I seen it this morning.
Trench shoring services. For how many? Oh, that was $5 grand right there, right? I ain't got that kind of money to put into that.
I know I saved it.
Let me see if they. All right, let me call and talk to them about it, and I want to make sure I need that video on a full day. Okay?
This is Etsy, eBay.
I'll go out there and look at it.
One piece kid, children, kitchen, cooking, baking, painting, and art. Keep clean. Pocket bib, 13 grand. You think that little bib thing is 13 grand?
מחוסות. הנה כאן קבוצה של חיילי המילואים מכוח 100, יחידה המשמשת לאבטחת המתקן. הם לוקחים את המחבל, הנה הם כאן בפינת המתקן, כנראה מודעים למצלמות האבטחה ומנסים להסתיר מעשיהם במגינים. הצילום כולל תיעוד של העבירה מיוחסת לאנשי המילואים, מעשה סדום בנסיבות אינוס. שעות אחר כך פונה המחבל לבית החולים מדמם. הפציעות שלו הוגדרו מורכבות. הקביעה הרפואית חד משמעית. הפציעות נגרמו מהחדרה של חפץ.
It says video of just last week Israel had mass riots because they were told to stop sodomizing prisoners. A week later they are recorded sodomizing prisoners. What is that noise?
And that's installed. How about the manholes? Okay. Alright. Alright, let me get you the address, okay? Alright.
Bring us, those that are here.
What is that noise?
Hey, Rick.
A group of citizens in Georgia declared a state of emergency with Georgia election system. Kim Brooks, Georgia Nerds,
Just called me just now, man.
I think it's supposed to be needs, are a group of data analysts that work for free across the state. We have data warehouses of 10 years of voter rolls, multiple election files.
Open all this shit. And I said, you gotta talk to Rick.
State of emergency.
You know, because that $30 shit don't get
I'll put this in. This is for moron. I'll put this over in the thing for you, moron. In the quarters.
Look. Right. Call the man.
Seems to be a tough relation.
I'm saying at least take his phone call, you know? I mean,
Relationship between Jewish music executives and black performers.
Yeah, here's why. We design everything they do. That do-rag that 50 Cent had, that's Jew designed.
Really?
We choose all that shit. They run it by us, and then we chose we do market research, and we just figure out what's the best. Milli Vanilli, it was all Jews who were singing this stuff.
Right.
We've just like planned it, but we know we're not cool looking. And also, yeah, we kill it in the management industry. You know why? Why comedy managers and agents are Jews? Why because you need to be having someone funneling you money the first 3 years. You're not making any money.
Right.
Who else could afford that? Only rich.
Right.
No.
Well, that's good.
Follow your dream.
These are all good things.
Good things. Is that any surprise?
No.
Bro.
Art, theater, film, or how our population was truly subverted. Everything else flows downstream of the culture presented. They have had control of Hollywood for 80 plus years, and we now live in America.
I don't know. Well, Deer can tell you. He's supposed to know.
Raiders walk around with weapons unabated. The police in Manchester are busy knocking down the doors of British patriots.
I will call the lady out the shop out there and see. I called her earlier. She didn't answer.
They left in this burned out bird. We just have to figure out a way to mobilize it.
He's right. We need something that everyone in this town can get behind. We need. A symbol.
Something that appeals to the best in each and every one of us.
Something good. Something decent.
Something pure.
I said certified free, 7 days a week.
You get the copyrights right.
Always done what's right. We've led the fight for gay rights. Harvey Milk fought to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation. Eddie Windsor was a leader in the fight for marriage equality. Miriam Ben Shalom challenged the ban on gay people serving in the military. We've helped lead the fight for racial justice. Our rabbis are BFFs with MLK. Together with black leaders, Jews helped to establish over 20 HBCUs. During the civil rights movement, Jews were disproportionately involved in the protests. We've led the fight for women's rights, for equal pay and the right to choose, and against discrimination in the workplace. Jews were also among the first on the ground in Turkey, Ukraine, and Haiti. In Judaism, when it comes to helping others, no action is too big or too small. The Jewish principle of Tikkun Olam tells us that we have the power to change the world, and there are so many ways to do that. And this is why I am Jewish and proud.
We're gonna find out. That's who the problem is.
And that's it, right? Okay, we're working on it.
7 million missing original ballot images for the November 2020 election in
Moron.
2021, when they were supposed to be under the federal and state statute.
1.7 million ballot images in Georgia were missing from the 2020 election. 1.7 million, moron. Get that at 17. What is it?
It's so fucking hot.
Man, it ain't that damn hot in here. What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I'm trying to cool down. I can't. Don't see about it. Hey, Chris. Hey.
It's which I showed. There were 5 million ballots cast. We only received 3.3 million back. This rule is to do memory card creation, retention. The issue is to change the memory card retention rule. And before we talk about, whoops, we lost that. Before we before we get into the memory cards, I think it's important to understand. As y'all know, I'm sure everybody in the room knows that memory cards are created for in-person ICP scanners from ballot marking device selection summaries. I don't call them ballots either. They're not a full ballot, but that's what the in-person voting uses. The scanners have memory cards in them. They're the compact flash cards that are in your cameras and typically other things, same thing that Dominion uses. Those memory cards are loaded to the election management server. On the memory cards are in-person ballot images, cast vote records, and audit logs. That's what's contained on a memory card. And these election records are created automatically when the ballots are scanned to tabulate votes. I think we can pretty much all agree on that. I don't think there's anything out of hand there. Absentee ballots are out of scope for this particular rule. So what's the problem and what's the solution? This is going to be very simple, like Member King's dad likes it. The problem that we see right now is that the State Election Board's memory card retention rule does not retain the ballot images, cast vote records, and audit logs on the card long enough to comply with federal and state election record retention law. I know that claim came up on another case yesterday, and I think I agree with it was Member Gonzalez that said that she did not agree, and I think she is right.
Yeah.
I think I was overstated yesterday, but I'm going to show you the clear plain text of the law today. And so that proposed solution is simply to modify the rule to comply with the clear plain text of federal and state election record retention law.
The chair would entertain a motion on this.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we move to initiate rulemaking procedures on this matter.
We have a motion from Member King to initiate rulemaking procedures on this matter. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Member Jeffries. Any discussion?
When I get ready.
Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of initiating rulemaking procedures on this petition signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, the motion is carried 4-0.
4-0 passed. Shouldn't be real hard. Uh-oh, great news. First goal for India. That's how she trains. Throwing them things to him so he can put them on the grill. Major false flag warning. Ezra A. Cohen.
Show you they can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control you. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I know you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
I know you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect to nobody, so let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody.
Thank you, Crystal.
I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Mama was sacrificed.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm appreciative.
Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
What's he trying
Feels
to say?
like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important thing in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names. None of these people that have
Is he talking about P. Diddy Butthole Diddler?
Listen to y'all because they're dealing, they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Ooh, he says he can't be controlled. Is that like a challenge? One of the observable differences between far-right protesters versus other protesters is none of the far-right are wearing masks. Trust me when I say the people wearing masks these days aren't doing it because they're scared of COVID.
Love in all the wrong places. There's definitely no love here. And seen with a nice bitch slap, and he's like, "Did you just slap me?" And his steroid rage is activated, looking to travel up to 88 miles per hour, possibly go back in time, but I believe his flux capacitor is damaged.
He said he's running off some of that anger before he jumps on your ass, girl.
For taking that pimp slap to the dome, and this cat is enjoying every minute of it. Legend has it he's still running to this day. Looking for love in all the wrong places. There's definitely no love here. And seen with a nice bitch slap, and he's like, "Did you just slap?"
Oh, no, you didn't. Latinos Against Harris Zoom call is now expecting over 110,000 attendees. Blacks Against Harris is 72,000 attendees. One thing I learned about the Latino community in these 19 short hours is that they come together fast. Hey, moron, here's you some more people that don't like Harris. You're gonna give me a copyright strike there, John.
Many shapes and forms and sizes. And so some of my greatest mentors have been men. And when all else fails, just remember there's this little piece of advice I will give you, which I give myself. When all else fails, just be lovely. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mentors come in many shapes and forms and sizes. And
some of them's got them this big, some of them's this big, some of them's this big. Many shapes and sizes. Took a shower with your daughter is weird, or putting tampons in the boys' bathroom, that's weird.
Yes. Yes.
Which happens in a news environment like this.
I totally understand. News
like
of the day.
The country you thought you lived in turned out to be not that country, but
got
things are moving quickly. But what's
talking
your
about
new question?
moron?
My new question is about J.D.
I ain't
Vance
seen
being called
Tommy.
weird. Okay, first of all, I think J.D. Vance being called weird is weird. And they've redefined everything, obviously, from recession to a woman, etc. But and there's all kinds of things I think are weird, like men and women's sports and unisex bathrooms and, smelling kids' hairs and headbutting the Pope. That's all weird. Okay. But, and the list goes on and on.
Yes,
okay?
it does.
Irrational exuberance for Venn diagrams at school buses and the moon and the stars. That's all weird.
Showering with your daughter is weird. That's weird.
Oh, yeah, top of the list. Yeah, good one. So, and now that we've redefined what weird is, my preliminary question is do Austin and Portland need to change their city mottos? It might work as well as it used to. But my real question is, do you think the campaign, meaning Trump fans, I think they should embrace the weird thing and just really redefine weird and say, yeah, we are weird because you know what? JD pulled himself up from his bootstraps. He overcame unbelievable circumstances and to become wildly successful, likely to become vice president, maybe someday president. And he doesn't fit their narrative of, being stuck in the mire of that circumstance he was born into and becoming a slave to the public dole.
Well, yes. I mean, I do. Look, I'm not an advisor to the Trump campaign. There's a lot I don't know. But my sense from a distance is that, they were thrown off balance by these attacks, by their suddenness and their ferocity, which is the hallmark of these attacks. Like, they come out of nowhere. It's like a swarm of bees. You're just getting hit from every direction, but it's a coordinated message. And it's important to rise above that for a moment to see what's going on. So, of course, the party of showering with your daughter and, tranny boxers and all this stuff, like, they're not calling J.D. Vance weird because they think he's weird. Is it weird to be like a straight guy who's married with 3 kids, who work hard? I mean, it's the opposite of weird, of course. It's the model. It's conventional, or was conventional in this country. So it has nothing to do with that. They don't care. What they care about is war. And it's not just the Democrats.
That's good
it's
if your phone
Republicans
ring
in
like that,
Washington.
though. That means
They
you're
hate
busy.
J.D. Vance, and they really do. And they have for a long time because he's questioned whether or not these foreign entanglements are good for the United States. It's not a matter of do you like country X, do you hate Ukraine or love Russia. It has nothing to do with that. The question is, should the U.S. government pursue this policy? Is it good for the United States or not? It's really simple. It's a very clear way to look at the world. And it's the only way that our leaders should be allowed to look at the world. And J.D. Vance has called them out on that. And so Republican leaders, Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and many, many others, worked extraordinarily hard behind the scenes to stop J.D. Vance from getting this job. He got it anyway. They're enraged. They're working with Democrats to slander him, but they're not telling you why they're mad at him. And I think if I were the Trump campaign, I would say, we're not weird? Yeah, Judge, of course he's not weird. Or maybe he is. Who cares? The future of the country's at stake here. You're leading us down the wrong path. You hate J.D. Vance because he's called you out on it. And we're opposed to your program. That's the problem here. And I think buying into any of this crap, like, Carmela's social media brat stuff, like, who cares? It's stupid. That's for teenage girls. This is the United States of America. It's the most powerful country in the world. It's in decline. How do we stop that decline? By making better decisions. The opposite of the decisions that she and her senile partner have made for 4 years. So that's how I would address it. Like, don't even play along, actually.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's just so ironic. Some California Kamala, as I like to call her, anybody from California calling anybody else weird is weird on the surface.
Well, yeah, but everything they say is the opposite of what the word actually means. The defenders of democracy just took out the sitting president without a vote being cast. They threatened him into not running again. That's not democracy. It's the opposite of democracy. That's oligarchy. It's very obvious. It's out in the open. So these are the defenders of democracy? No, of course they hate democracy. They're against weirdness? No, there's not a single person in Democratic leadership with a happy, healthy marriage. So they're calling J.D. Vance weird. It's like, just be quiet. Adults are talking now.
Blue Man, you can put this on a speaker and play it outside.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you. I hope that question lasts, and I think it will.
Yeah,
it's really smart.
Yeah, no, been a pleasure.
Blue Man, you can put it on the speaker and play it outside.
The difference between a feminist and a knife.
What sort of a comparison is that? I don't understand.
Threaten to answer.
Yeah.
At least a knife has a point. You're a feminist.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a feminist and a knife?
What sort of a comparison is that? I don't understand.
Threaten to answer.
Yeah.
At least a knife has a point. You're a feminist.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a feminist and a knife?
What?
One of the Asians make fun of Caucasians. Look at me, my name is Elizabeth, and I'm from Los Angeles. That ain't funny. Hello? End time scenario, China, terrifying scenes from the city of Dang Dong, where it appears as if it does not exist due to immense floodwaters. Dang Dong. Tim Walz, he retired from the military when they got orders that they were finna get sent to Iraq. He said, I'm retiring.
Monsanto. And Scott's Miracle Grow is connected with the Mary Jane. What is in Scott's Miracle Grow? Lots of aluminum. So when people go and hit the Mary Jane, guess what happens? That aluminum is going up into the brain, causing neurological issues. Guess what? Then they can sell them. A pill or a neural link. Are you suffering from brain fog and fatigue? We've got the perfect chip for you. So what you do is you get the whole population on the Mary Jane, which is owned by Monsanto, loaded up with heavy metals, and then you sell them a neural link. You put a chip in their brain and say that's the solution. But that's the whole why they legalized it and brought it back. Because Monsanto and Scott's Miracle Grow have a very tight hold over that industry. They didn't bring it back so that you could be growing organic or doing anything like that. They brought it back to give you a different form of poison. It wasn't that which had the poison in it before, or all the stuff with Coca-Cola. Now it's a different form. It comes...
hero.
Ash, imagine that.
I know, yeah, I know. 2% of white people own slaves.
Yeah, 2% of white people domestically own slaves.
78% of slave owners were Jewish. They also own almost all of the slave ships. That's correct.
Correct. So like over 40% of the Jewish population owned slaves, up to 80 or more percent of total slavery domestically was Jewish, and only 2% of white people actually had slaves.
Even mentioned is that all of the auctions where slaves were bought and sold never took place on Jewish holidays because the majority of the merchants buying and selling slaves were Jewish.
So you said 40% of the entire Jewish population owned slaves, or 40% of the slave owners were Jewish?
No, 40% of the Jewish population, and then up to 80% or more of the total slave owners were Jewish.
Columbus himself was Jewish, and the Pope who signed the doctrine of discovery was Jewish. Like, literally Pope Alexander VI, who signed the doctrine of discovery, which created the legality, the legal structure for all of colonialism and the entire transatlantic slave trade, was Jewish.
Okay, so you're hearing this from an American Jew, by the way.
Columbus was Jewish, and Columbus's ships were funded by 3 Jews fleeing the Spanish Inquisition. That Columbus discovered the New World, he came back under the current Catholic rule, right? They were still deemed people. All of the Ivory Coast, all of the Americas, they were still considered people. It wasn't until Pope Alexander VI signed the papal bull that declared them heathens, and Pope Alexander VI only signed that papal bull to gain military aid from Spain and Portugal because he was under direct threat from the Christian rulers of Europe who were attempting to depose him and defrock him as Pope because of the fact that he was a Jewish Pope who had effectively bought the papacy.
Trump going to push him over the top. Campaign funds to beat Kamala. And he ain't got to pay for Trump to beat her.
Had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale.
In the 1990s, rightful President Trump's Mar-a-Lago was the first open club to black and Jewish people.
Probably the wealthiest community there is in the world. I opened a club and really got great credit for it. No discrimination against African Americans, against Muslims, against anybody. And it's a tremendously successful club, and I'm so glad I did it. And I have been given great credit for what I did, and I'm very, very proud of it. And that's the way I feel. That is the true way I feel. In Palm Beach, Florida, tough community, a brilliant community, a wealthy community, probably the wealthiest community.
He did do that.
Harris says she's proud of her record.
She was put on, Tulsi Gabbard was put on a secret terrorist watch list the very day after she destroyed Kamala Harris in the debate.
Prosecutor, and that she'll be a prosecutor
Physical
president, but
surveillance
I'm deeply
began
concerned
the
about
following
this
day.
record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row. until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about re-entering former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken, that I am an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman Gabbard back in. Your response.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you were in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Senator Harris.
World a home.
Yep, Coca-Cola played a part in the start of all this globalist bullshit.
Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I like to teach the world to sing with me. Perfect harmony, perfect harmony. I like to ride the world and keep it company.
Yep, white liberal bullshit. Happening now, J.D. Vance gets off the planes, walks over to Kamal's Air Force One, just landed next to his on the tarmac in Wisconsin. Ukraine pierced Russian border, trigger major battles. Russia said on Wednesday that it was fighting intense battles against Ukrainian forces, which had penetrated Russia's Kursk region. The Kamala Harris rally line at EU Claire, Wisconsin is so long. What's not being reported is they got Bon Iver, who is a local from EU Claire, which a Grammy Award and musician artist to perform at the rally. So basically it's another free concert. You know, I had the Stallion up here in Atlanta. Four Democrat voters were instructed last month by the media that like Kamala Harris, they like Republicans thought she was terrible.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another. One leak after another. The Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician.
Time.
The new Democratic ticket taking the stage in Pennsylvania.
We are the underdogs in this race, but we have the momentum.
Vice President Kamala Harris tapping Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. The 60-year-old former teacher is a veteran of the National Guard, gun owner, and known for his progressive policies.
In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Political experts tell me his Midwestern appeal brings a strong balance to the ticket.
He's got a dad profile, an everyday guy sort of profile that counterbalances really interestingly, nicely, Harris's cosmopolitan sort of coastal elite vibe that stands out.
But according to a recent poll, many Americans say they've never heard of Walz.
I have no idea who that man is, but I'm going to do research.
The Trump campaign is painting a grim picture of the duo in this new ad.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They're failed, weak, and dangerously liberal.
J.D. Vance is launching similar attacks.
The biggest problem with the Tim Walz pick, it's not Tim Walz himself, it's what it says about Kamala Harris. That when given an opportunity, she will bend the knee to the most radical elements of her party.
Both campaigns are hitting battleground states as Democrats seek to build on momentum while Republicans look to regain it. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
It's going to be a fight to the finish for both those parties. Vice President Harris had just 16 days to select a running mate. In picking Tim Walz, chemistry was key here. Harris was also convinced that he would have her back and not let his personal ambitions get in the way. He told her he had no intention of ever running for president.
Vice President Harris and Governor Walz will hold rallies in Wisconsin and in Michigan today. J.D. Vance also set to deliver remarks in those key battleground states. More Wake Up Idaho after this.
Hey Siri, call Chris G.E. Hey Chris. Hey, did you get it done yet? Okay, what date for that, the date did you use? Okay, alright. No problem. Okay, and I guess that's everything I had to ask. And I put it for me. Okay. Alright, I'll just go with it. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye.
That was short.
Hearing today, and thank you to our witnesses not only for being here, but for your careers of service to our country and to the men and women you lead. I am really grateful that former President Trump is safe and extend my sympathies to the family of Corey Comparateur, who was fatally shot at the rally, and my sympathies to everyone who was injured. On July 13th, major failures nearly led to the assassination of a presidential candidate who is also a former president of the United States. The Secret Service has to be fully transparent about how this happened and how it's going to change moving forward, understanding there's also a need to balance Congress's engagement in oversight with allowing law enforcement to conduct an ongoing criminal investigation. I want to thank the agents of the Secret Service for selflessly acting to protect elected officials and their families and our former presidents. We're grateful for their sacrifices and their service, and I want to thank all law enforcement, and particularly law enforcement officers and first responders who worked to minimize harm to the crowd on July 13th. Mr. Rowe, I want to start with you. New Hampshire hosts many political rallies. Protecting the speakers and attendees at these events requires extensive coordination between state and local law enforcement, the Secret Service staff, and obviously campaign event staff. As a former governor, I've experienced some of the challenges that this type of coordination can create, but we know that this coordination is really essential to public safety. It's clear that there were significant coordination failures on July 13th. You told us earlier that the local SWAT team told the Secret Service that local law enforcement had eyes on the AGR roof. But there are reports that members of a local SWAT team never met with the Secret Service in the days before the Butler rally. What steps does the Secret Service take prior to political rallies to ensure that the agency is effectively coordinating with the candidate security details, with state and local law enforcement, and with campaign event staff?
So as part of the advance process, Senator, as happened in Butler as well, there's a police meeting, and basically that is that initiates the advance. That's bringing in all the not only emergency management officials, but all the state and local law enforcement agencies that may have aspects of supporting or assisting in that advance and on that visit. The focus of that police meeting, one, is to exchange numbers and business cards, and then coordinate times for walkthroughs. There were walkthroughs of the Butler Farm site with local law enforcement agencies that were supporting that visit. And that was directly as a result of having that police meeting to begin the process of figuring out, dividing up the labor areas of responsibility.
So what you're telling me is that at that meeting, the Secret Service, the first meeting led to the walkthrough that the Secret Service does with local law enforcement, and that at least some members or directors of the local SWAT team would have been part of that process?
Well, as I understand it, the Beaver County, they were seconded to assist Butler, but the Butler ESU team were part of the advance process.
Okay. How many agents did the Secret Service provide to plan and secure this event, and how many people from state and local law enforcement agencies supported the security of this event?
So in totality, between law enforcement, state and local, and federal, there were 155 personnel at the Butler Farm site that day. All combined Secret Service, it's in the 70s. And then we had support from Homeland Security investigations that were providing post standers. And then we had approximately 70 or so various Pennsylvania state law enforcement.
Okay, thank you. I want to go to one other issue before my time expires. You've talked today and in our secure briefing about the interoperability of the Secret Service's counter-drone capability, that it failed early on, and so it didn't catch the drone flown over the site by the shooter. First, what changes you've addressed this a little, but what changes is the Secret Service making to ensure that it has backup technology? But also, what efforts did the Secret Service undertake to coordinate with other law enforcement regarding anti-drone capability at the rally site?
We're working to determine that right now, Senator. We're getting the redundancies in place. Counter UAS authority, it is a little complex. State and locals don't necessarily have this ability to do that. And it does require coordination with the FAA because it could impact commercial travel.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Chair, I'm just going to follow up, and I think one of the things that you're hearing from a lot of folks, but I'm not sure we're really clear on yet, is how is it that somebody who clearly is arousing concern from law enforcement isn't identified as suspicious, and how is it that that information doesn't get to the president, the former president's detail? So I'll follow up in writing. Thank you.
Senator Cornyn. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Rowe, can you explain why the shooter's drone worked?
Because there was no counter UAS present, sir.
Well, you had a drone system, but you had bandwidth problems. The bandwidth apparently was adequate for the shooter's drone, but not for the Secret Service. Can you explain that?
I have no explanation for it, sir.
We also know that in a military context, electronic warfare or jamming capabilities are commonly used on the battlefield. Does the Secret Service have jamming capabilities or drones?
We have drones, sir, and when it comes to, I have to be very careful about how I answer this one in an open forum. What I can tell you is that we have technical security measures, sir, to address, I think, what you're asking me.
Well, the question is, can you take down a suspicious drone? Because this can be used not only for surveillance by the shooter, which obviously it was here, but also drones can be weaponized and be used as a threat to the president, or in this case the President Trump. Do you have the capacity to stop a weaponized drone?
What I will tell you, sir, is that we have technical security measures that we utilize at permanently protected sites. We also have the ability in a limited fashion at temporary sites. What I can tell you is that on this day, the counter UAS system had technical difficulties and did not go operational until after 5 o'clock.
So in this case, the shooter had a rifle, but somebody who wanted to kill a president for a former president or candidate for president would not need a rifle. They could use a drone, correct?
It is a potential threat vector.
So this individual was identified as a suspicious person. Can you explain to us when a suspicious person becomes identified as a threat?
Well, I think it's also when a weapon or some other dangerous item is then presented.
A rangefinder would not render someone a threat as opposed to somebody who was under suspicion?
I think the rangefinder is what initially brought him to the attention of local law enforcement.
And why would the president be allowed to take to the stage while a suspicious person had been identified and before the Secret Service or local law enforcement were able to investigate the circumstances?
So at that time, Senator, suspicion had not risen to the level of threat or imminent harm.
Well, you didn't. Ultimately, that suspicious person did become a threat. Do you think if the president had been asked not to take the stage and during the time it took to investigate to eliminate that suspicion, that wouldn't that have been the appropriate way to deal with it?
Senator, it certainly is one way to do it. This is a challenge for law enforcement in general, is that being able to you identify somebody that comes to your attention and you're trying to determine what are their intentions. This is a challenge for law enforcement. The individual came to the attention for suspicion. He's on the outer perimeter adjacent to the secured site. law enforcement is circulating for him. But again, without additional information, at that point, we're not rising to the level yet where perhaps we should pull him off or delay him.
And I'm just suggesting that maybe, just maybe, President Trump's appearance should have been delayed while that suspicion could be adequately investigated. But I've always thought of the Secret Service as the best of the best when it comes to their willingness to put themselves in harm's way to protect the life of their person they are detailed to. And I think you described the very rigorous process by which people are screened. And I think you mentioned the 2% standard. People who are interested in serving, only a very small fraction of those individuals are actually accepted in the Secret Service because of the high standards that your agency has. But explain to me why the Secret Service, being an elite law enforcement agency, would delegate to local law enforcement or others who did not meet that same 2% standard. In other words, isn't that something that Secret Service should have covered as opposed to delegating it to local law enforcement?
So, Senator, again, this is where I went back to earlier when I said it was a failure to challenge our assumptions. We assumed that the state and locals had it. By no means do I want to diminish the commitment, and I'm sure you agree, state and local law enforcement do their jobs every day and protect the communities that you represent.
No doubt about it.
So I think what we made an assumption that there was going to be uniformed presence out there, that there would be sufficient eyes to cover that there was going to be counter sniper teams in the AGR building, and I can assure you that we're not going to make that mistake again. Moving forward, I've directed our Office of Protective Operations that when our counter snipers are up, their counter snipers are up and they're on the roof as well. And we do this all the time with our colleagues in the New York City Police Department when we cover the United Nations General Assembly, and so that is our TTP moving forward.
Director Rowe, I would just submit to you that those assumptions can be lethal.
Senator Scott, you're recognized for your questions.
Thank you, Chairman. Let me just follow up with what Senator Corning just asked. Do you know who makes the drone that the Secret Service uses?
That Secret Service uses?
Yeah, the one that that didn't work. Who's the manufacturer? Is it American-made manufacturer?
I believe it is, Senator. I'll get to the. We'll provide that to you in a queue first, sir.
So we talked about this the other day. There's not in our very few times in history do our presidents get shot at. So you would know that this is something that the American public is very interested in. So as Senator Johnson said, there's a lot of questions being asked. I was at church Sunday and 3 people came up to me and asked me if there was a second shooter. So there's all this information that's not, you guys are not responding to. When I was governor of Florida, I had 2 mass shootings. I had the Pulse nightclub shooting. I had the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting, and we did 2 or 3 times a day, local, state, and federal law enforcement, FBI, everybody involved. We answered questions. What I asked you the other day is, why aren't you doing that? What you've allowed, what both of you have allowed, you've allowed the public to ask, assume the negative. And so, which I don't get. I think you should have been doing, and I think you guys should have been doing all along, at least once a day press conferences. I think that you've got to tell the public what's going on. Having a hearing is really nice, but how often are we going to do this? You're clearly not going to do it here for another month and a half. So I asked you the other day, why aren't you doing press conferences, and are you going to commit to doing press conferences? I think what you all have said the other day, you're going to ask Secretary Mayorkas and Director Ray if you guys could do those daily press conferences and start giving the public information. What's the answer?
So, Senator, that's why, one, I'm here today. I'm here today to provide information and answer those questions. And we are moving towards doing more frequent releases of information. And we're willing to do that press conference, and once we get through this hearing today, we are going to, in all likelihood, do one this week.
Okay, so what's the commitment to the public that you're going to do press conference? I mean, are you going to it's what, 17 days? I mean, the information. I mean, we are sitting 17 days into this, and I'm getting asked questions that I can't believe are true, but the public believes it's true. So what you all are doing is you're ruining your reputation, impact the integrity of the federal government. It makes no sense to me. So are you going to commit to? Are you going to do it once a month? I mean, and the FBI, the same thing, not just you. What did Director Ray say? Did he say you couldn't do it?
Senator, if I may jump in here. First, thank you all for your guidance in this regard. And in fact, we haven't done something every day, no doubt about that. But, you know, we're focused from the FBI side on the investigation part as we laid out here today. We actually, based on your guidance, we did a media engagement, not a stand-up type press conference just yesterday, and laid out in full everything that I've shared here, and even beyond that, just in the interest of time. But we are, because of the intense interest in this and the implications and the national importance, we've literally provided everything through media and through journalists, and here all of the information that we have derived from the investigation thus far. We remain committed to do that in full, answering any and all questions and sharing any and all information we obtain.
Do you guys realize the value of going in front of the press and answering all their questions? I mean, you realize if you don't do it that way, everything gets filtered. You get to put out all the information, and you should be providing. I mean, you should be every day say, this is what we know now. This is like Senator Johnson put together a timeline. You should have put together a timeline. You should immediately put out, this is what we know right now, and this is what we don't know. Like you've said, you don't know how the gun got up there, right? You've said it, but why have that should have been out all along? Say, we're looking at it. It doesn't make any sense. We've done this. We've done this. We've done this. If you do, I mean, I just don't get it. Why what you're doing? You're ruining. I've said this about the FBI. I mean, the people that work at the FBI, people work at Secret Service, they're great people. You're a black hole. You lose the support of the American public because people don't believe you're being direct with them. So I completely disagree with your approach. I just want to finish. I've got like everybody else. I said I did a letter July 18th. I haven't gotten any answers yet. I want to put it into the record, and I'd love to get the answers to this, because this is what the public is asking for. They want more information. They want to know what happened, who's going to be held accountable, and how we're going to make sure this never happens again. Thank you.
Without objection, it'll be entered in the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here, to both of you, and more important, thank you for your professional dedication, your personal bravery, and your devotion to the ideals of law enforcement. I know for both of you this moment is a painful one, and Acting Director Earl, I've heard you speak in a private setting very emotionally and passionately about the need to take responsibility and take action that will assure accountability. And I know that you share a commitment, along with Director Abate, to full public disclosure to the maximum extent possible. We can make speeches at you, and I've made one myself in that private setting about the need for broader, fuller disclosure to the public, not just in press conferences, but in the course of your investigation, about what you know and feel you can disclose without compromising your investigation. Let me ask you, last week, Senator Peters and Paul, along with Senator Johnson and myself, sent requests to both of your agencies to produce documents. We've only received a handful so far. Can you commit to when we can expect those documents?
We will get them to you as quickly as we can, Senator.
Well, can we expect them this week?
We will work to meet that deadline, sir.
And when can we expect all the communications, the text messages that agents have sent to each other? Eventually, all of it is going to come out, as you know. When can we expect all of those documents?
we will gather them up and get them to you, Senator.
You, I think, took the position as to the local law enforcement responsible for the shooter on the roof, the snipers that were in place, that it was their job to take him out. But ultimately, doesn't the buck stop with the Secret Service?
It stops with us, sir, but let me just clarify. The perspective that they had on that roof, when I show you the perspective from what our sniper saw, he's on the downside of that ridged roof. Their perspective from the AGR building, looking out, their area of responsibility, looking left, they should have been able to see. You can see in that photo in Exhibit A, which we will make part of the record and turn over to the committee. He's already crossed over that bridge or the walkway and stepped up onto that roof. I'm not saying that they should have neutralized him, but if they'd have just held their post and looked left, maybe, and it's a lot of maybes there, Senator.
A lot of maybes, but somebody needs to be held accountable. And I think Senator Graham hit the nail on the head. We need to know who specifically was responsible for doing what. Who was responsible for saying to former President Trump, "Sir, it's not safe to go out there yet"? Who was responsible for making sure that those local law enforcement were doing their job? Who was responsible for tracking down that suspicious person who fit the profile? 10 to 25 years old, young male. The FBI has warned us about it year after year after year. Director Wray has come before us and said the threat is from domestic extremism. The lone gunman, we're all aware of it in law enforcement. So I think we need individual accountability here, and people need to be held responsible, in fact, lose their jobs, if necessary, to send a message that this massive intelligence and surveillance failure, as well as the enforcement failure, cries out for accountability. Let me just ask, in the short time I have left, what is the nature of the Iran threat?
I'm sorry, Senator, could you repeat the question?
What is the nature of the Iran threat, the threat to former President Trump that has been mentioned?
Well, we know that, let me be clear here, the terrorist regime of Iran have been targeting people, our country, for many, many years now. We've talked about that here before. I want to be clear about that. From the FBI standpoint, we know publicly they've targeted former President Trump. They've called for his assassination along with other current and former government officials. That's public information. It's well known to everyone.
A specific or imminent threat on July 13th?
We have no information that there are any co-conspirators, or that foreign or domestic, including Iran, related to this. But we're not, I want to be clear, we have no evidence of that. We're not ruling anything out. We're looking into all possibilities and leaving our minds open to that.
Was that on the minds of the Secret Service on July 13th, that there might be some threat from Iran?
Sir, we, as Deputy Director Abate just said, we're aware of the public sentiment and statements of the government of Iran to do harm to Donald J. Trump, and we use a threat-based model.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. President. Yes.
Senator Ossoff, you're recognized for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you both for your testimony today and for your service. Mr. Rowe, I want to begin discussing Secret Service staffing. and the extent to which HSI or other personnel are augmenting or backfilling inadequate Secret Service capacity generally and on the day of the assassination attempt? To what extent are HSI personnel, for example, filling close protection roles that would normally or optimally be filled by Secret Service personnel?
So, thank you, Senator, for that question. So, as we have done, even back when we were with Treasury, we enlist during campaign years the assistance of other law enforcement agencies in that department. So, when we were in Treasury, we used ATF, we used IRS-CI. When we transferred over to the Department of Homeland Security, we have brought that practice with us. So going into a campaign year or during a national special security event like the United Nations General Assembly, we will enter into a memorandum of assistance for the campaign with HSI. HSI will provide post standers, essentially federal agents, law enforcement, to be able to help secure a site. When it comes to close protection, the only time that we will utilize them is during a United Nations General Assembly, where they may be utilized to protect a low-level head of state or provide security at a hotel in New York City where those protectees are staying.
So, on the day in question, all of the former president's close protection detail were full-time Secret Service personnel?
They were, and they were assigned to the Donald Trump detail.
Okay. Interoperability with other federal and state and local law enforcement agencies, specifically on communications. What have you determined to date played a role in failures to swiftly communicate between agencies the suspicion or identification of a threat?
Well, I think there was a delay in reporting, not having that real time. So as they were closing in on him, as information is known, as...
Be more specific when who were closing in on him.
As local law enforcement were closing in on him. As he's seen scurrying across the roof, right? That information, and we're getting to the bottom of that. We're working on trying to figure out what was the delay. Why didn't we hear that coming out of the unified command? So based on the information I have right now, what I can tell you, Senator, is that apparently not having that real-time information is what really hindered us in being able to understand more than it was just the locals working an issue at the 3 o'clock. There was actually a little bit something more urgent than that.
Does it appear that that is due to a lack of communications links between relevant officials and agencies, or poor communications practices and a failure to report?
I don't want to rule out. I want to have a neutral opinion on that. So I don't know if it was poor practices. I can tell you that the interoperability, having not being able to have that technical fix, which is a lofty goal to be able to do that, is something that has been a hindrance. But that's why we use a counterpart system.
So there, in fact, is not the capability when an intergovernmental, interagency team is deployed to secure a site like this and to mount, if necessary, a quick reaction. There is not currently the capability for example, state law enforcement SWAT personnel or local law enforcement officers to communicate directly with Secret Service officers on site?
So technically you could do it, but it would take a long time to get it done. And for a 1 day or an 8-hour operation, it requires a lot. And it would be months of planning, of knowing that we are going to go to this particular jurisdiction and that we're going to need your frequencies, the keys, and we're going to need to load you into our radios, and you're going to be needed to load it into ours, and vice versa.
Right. Well, this presents potentially, I think, an opportunity for the Homeland Security Committee. I mean, not just in an executive protection context, but any complex incident response, any counterterrorism, any natural disaster context. The inability swiftly to link personnel from disparate jurisdictions at the local, state, and federal level is a vulnerability for the nation, is it not?
I would think, and based on my experience, being able to talk to other agencies in real time certainly would assist in that response.
Mr. Chairman, do I have time for one more question?
Yes.
Thank you. I know others have touched on this. One of the things that's been most baffling to the public has been the failure to fully secure this structure, which even to a layperson's uninformed eye is clearly presents as a site from which an attack on the former president of this event could be mounted. And it had particular characteristics that made it even more of potential value to an attacker. Just walk us through one more time. Is there not an established doctrine or practice or checklist by which such sites are assessed for threat and determine whether or not to be within or without of the security perimeter?
So, Senator, controlling high ground is something that is a must for us whenever we go into a location.
Well, I know we're all eager for more information on why that task was not completed in this case. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Senator Ossoff. Senator Lee.
Why was President Trump allowed to take the stage at 6:02 p.m., exactly 17 minutes after multiple suspicious person reports were provided, complete with photos and information suggesting that the assailant had a rangefinder, something that ordinary people don't use in this kind of circumstance?
Senator, again, it was suspicion, not weapon, or there was never communication of that there was an individual with a gun or threat or other bad intentions.
How many suspicious person reports did you receive that day?
I'll get back to you on the exact number, but there were other individuals that came to the attention of law enforcement that day.
Would President Biden ever be allowed on stage under similar circumstances with an unresolved set of multiple suspicious person reports provided, including indicating that there was a rangefinder involved?
Senator, I can tell you that a suspicious person on the outer perimeter with local law enforcement attempting to locate would happen, but I would need more information as far as whether or not we would allow the president to go on or off. Again, for us, it comes down to weapon, a potential threat. Is the individual carrying an IED? Is there a weapon? Is there some other factor that now ramps up our...
You ever trying to sneak inside the room? Good way to get shot. It's hot out there, boys. Prison sentence for rioting up to 10 years, violent disorder up to 5 years, criminal damage up to 10 years, inciting racial hatred up to 7 years. Oh, they're getting strong over there in the UK.
I have never been more in love in my entire life. Nathan is with Dylan in the NICU, and I'm in the room with Kyle, and they're just perfect. I love them so much. They're gorgeous. They're already so advanced, so perfect. I love you guys. You can never cry. I love you. Look at her. How could you not love her? Look at that face.
He's doing this shit for attention. The plane walks over to Kamala Harris Air Force 2, which just landed. That's our tens of people showing up for the huge rally up there for Kamala. Tesla phone. Oh, list of governors who returned COVID positive patients in nursing home. Andrew Cuomo, Gretchen, Murphy, Wolf, Newsom, and Walsh did too, so there were 6 instead of 5.
Of the tens of thousands of just hard fours online being like, I'm voting for her because he's going to strip all of our rights away as a woman. I can't do that as a mom and a da-da. What rights, babe? What rights? He was already president, and how many rights did you lose? 0. He's trying to protect women's rights. What do you think it is when we have men in women's sports? We have men in our personal spaces. What do you think it is when dangerous men come over the border? That's what protecting women and children is. Oh, he already said he's not going to do a nationwide abortion ban. He's not going to do it. If anything, it's going to be state by state, the way it has been. And guess what? If a state, 90% of people in a state want something, I think that state should have it, even if I don't agree with it. If you don't like it, move to another state. It's very simple. Stop with the propaganda. This is why people make fun of women. Use your brain. Use your brain, babe. I'm sorry. I am so tired of the tens of thousands of just hard fours online being
It is hot out there, though. I'm sweating my ass off and just being there a little bit of time.
What happens to you? Well, Elon Musk has just come out with the Cybertruck. You've probably seen images of it on the internet, or maybe seen one on the street. We thought, what is this? Well, it's clearly the future of the future. So we called Elon and said, hey, will you send us a Cybertruck to review? We're in a very rural area with people who use trucks for a living. Let's see what it's like. So this is the truck that I drove this morning. This is the truck I drive. It's a 1987 Chevrolet Silverado. Conventional cab. 5 forward speeds. Some kind of aftermarket seats. The seat belts a dog has chewed. And it works pretty well. It's got a bed. Looks like a pickup truck. There are no electronics in this. There's no air conditioning, there's no radio, and there's no way for the government to turn off my engine if I'm disobedient. So that's what I drive. I like it. That is a Cybertruck.
Some of my data was accessed without authorization at AT&T.
That is
Thanks a lot, AT&T.
And that's what we're going to review. And to review it for us, we're going to talk to Patrick Feeney. We're on his farm in western Maine, in a very rural part of Maine. He is very familiar with heavy machinery. He was a diesel mechanic in the Army, right out of high school in the first Gulf War. He was a logger running skidders. He was a long-haul trucker running 18-wheelers. So he's been in machines all his life. He's fixed machines. He understands machines. We're standing in front of his sawmill here on his farm where he cuts out wood, and we've given him use of the Cybertruck, or Elon has, for the last couple of weeks. And we're going to ask him a really simple question. Could you replace the truck that you drive, which is a Ford F-350, with the Cybertruck? We're going to go inside his sawmill and meet Patrick Feeney. Patrick Feeney, like your shirt?
Thank you, sir.
So you've had the Cybertruck for a couple weeks.
Well, actually, technically since Monday.
Since Monday.
Right, 1 week.
And today is Friday.
Right.
So you've had a week of the Cybertruck, and the question is, and you're going to have a lot more time to assess it, could it replace your F-350?
So far, yes.
Really?
Mechanically.
Mechanically?
Mechanically, it's got all kinds of power. Of course, it's a $100,000 truck.
Yep.
So I don't know. We're going to not think about that right now.
Okay.
Because there's all kinds of carpenters at the local lumber yard with $100,000 trucks I see in there every day.
Yeah.
So that's not too much of a stretch, I don't believe. But as far as go power, I'll show you. Towing power, ease of use. It's just like when you rent a car and you can just spend 5 minutes figuring out all the buttons.
Yeah.
It's basically that easy.
Is it really?
That easy.
Okay, so let's just go through things that...
$100,000. Give me 2 of them. Frank, I was telling the people how you give me the wrong address yesterday for that lawn care cut, and I cut it and called you, and you said that's the wrong address. And I said, that's the address you give me. And then you give me another address, and I go over and cut that yard. Hopefully, that was Nathan's yard that I cut that second time. Frank will be getting 2 bills today. 2 lawn care bills. They're cheap. Lawn care bills today. Frank will get them. That's messed up, Frank. Had me cut your friend's grass for free. Well, it's not for free because you're paying for it.
So the muscle suit that I'm wearing is pretty advanced, and it has an airflow mechanism that allows the air to flow through any part of the body and basically allows it to pump up whichever parts I deem necessary. So if I want to have more of a power lifter build, I can do that. If I want to have a bodybuilder build, I can also do that. And if I just want to look like I don't really work out, then I can also do that as well. Now, it is basically an updated version of the famous anchor arms. However, this one has an automatic system so that you don't need to manually So the muscle suit that I'm wearing is pretty advanced, and it has an airflow mechanism
It is pretty
that
advanced.
allows the air to flow.
They're walking amongst us.
Everything I'd see on the news. But that's before I discovered a brain.
A brain is meant for everyday use.
That's that commercial for a brain. Arab tribes in Syria, which are supported by Iran, occupied the oil wells and centers occupied the U.S. Said the U.S. lost one of the oil fields over there. Soon the U.S. will fork out from the Middle East and from Syria. The battle to kick out U.S. troops is going on. He said, Allah Akbar.
That Governor Walsh has
Oh,
shown.
shit. Here we go. Here from one of Tim Walsh's most trusted advisors, who will likely be asked to serve in Harris Walsh administration.
Up for your community. You are the first out transgender legislator in Minnesota history. What did you mean by that? Expand on it a little bit.
Yes, of course. You know, when we elected 11 new
That voice just don't go with that face.
LGBTQ members to the House 2 years ago and created the Queer Caucus, and I started pushing the importance of the trans refuge bill that I carried. He was always right there. He understood that this is a way for us to help community members, to help people who are different.
You have said that Governor Walsh has shown up.
How they tricked the world into eating Indian lubricant.
Tim Walsh. Who is Tim Walsh?
Tim Walsh.
I didn't know much about him until the past couple weeks, and I like what I see, and I'm glad you chose him.
I like the idea that he came up with the phrase weird. I think it fits. I think he'll pull in a lot of people from the Midwest. So I'm excited.
I think that's going to really connect with rural Americans in that he understands what it's like to live in a town of 400 people and not necessarily have all the public services available that we have in some of the larger cities, but he understands the importance of community.
I feel like whoever Kamala trusts, we can trust.
And being a former teacher, and I'm a teacher too, so I'm really pleased with that.
I appreciate that he codified abortion access into law in Minnesota, and I hope that he can, help expand that into the whole country. Myself being trans, and with my trans brothers and sisters, as long as the LGBTQ rights still stand, I have no other complaints.
Not up here, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. We're looking for some keys for a bus. I ain't had them up here. There ain't no reason what they would be up here for. Just I was trying to hold the bus. I do love to mow. That's fun, man. I like mowing. Finicky wire, I gotta cut this over here.
Vice President. Well, there are polls that also say I have.
Doesn't want to play. Oh, this time she has gone down. And look, it just stands there. And that's what I mean about relation. Look at that. That is about a relationship between a horse and a rider. Okay, it didn't work. But the love...
He's going to the glue factory.
Doesn't stop in the arena.
We're having a cookout this weekend. Horse burgers. And no reason why he's not beating that horse right now because everybody's watching.
Tremendous horsemanship. And it is what this whole industry...
What do you mean? Just because he didn't make the jump? He fell off the horse?
Good than is about.
Horse didn't fall down. What?
Making sure that doesn't want to play.
Put the brakes on. You should have been a little bit tighter in the saddle there. You got to clinch with your thighs.
She has gone down.
You got to clinch with your thighs. If you ain't rode horses in a while, you will be sore as shit the next day. What is the keystone? Let's see. What is the New World Order? Let's see. What is the significance? Iran, North Korea, Saudi Arabia. What if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? Who controls several agencies within the U.S., EU, and abroad? I think that'd be Mossad. Bilbo Braggins. Uh-oh. Oh, he turned him into the White Hand. That's the White Hand of Saruman. Don't do it. Not two of them. Oh, shit. They dug them up out of the ground, too. And they had the taste for man flesh.
This is Bernie Sanders. This is Bernie Sanders right here. The squad loves this guy. Loves him. You see pictures, they're like almost undressing together.
One of the squad girls is gone. She ain't getting voted back in. She lost.
Older than Biden. I would have gone with the younger guy, but who knows if this was even her choice. Eric Holder was running the vetting op.
When you're okay with naked strangers dancing for children but go apocalyptic, when adults pray to God, you're on the side of evil, and we've done pretending any different. That's correct.
Who are you? Who are we? We are the that platoon.
We'll never win another war.
Who are you? Who are we? We are that platoon. No. You guys are like this, like this. Who are you?
Oh my gosh, shut up. QFS has mirrored our accounts to protect us.
In the central banks. Understand with this switchover process, the central banking system is coming to an end, but the quantum financial system has literally been mirroring
quantum
all our
financial
bank accounts
system
for the last several years. So it has been watching and mirroring every transaction we make. It's been doing the same thing. So once we switch over to the QFS, you get access to your QFS. The same bank balance that you had there will be there. Even if the bank you're with completely shuts down and you can't get access to your money anymore, because the central banks, excuse me, the central banks will be doing what they're illegally allowed to do, which is called bail-ins. So you've heard of bailouts before, but a bail-in is when the bank takes money that's invested in their bank and keeps it for themselves to protect the
That's a bail-in. Words are words.
And in my mind, in my head, this is where we all came from. The dreams we...
Copyright strike, Jamie. Copyright strike coming. Is that a Lego motor? What kind of oil y'all got running in that thing? I'd put some Quaker State 10W30 in it. It does sound like a diesel. Hello?
Are you there?
Nope. Mentioned Lion Gate portal opening August the 8th.
The Year of the Dragon in 2024 offers a unique
8/8, that's tomorrow.
Opportunity for spiritual growth and transformation.
It's my youngest daughter's birthday.
This powerful combination of cosmic energies creates a potent environment for personal and collective effort.
Frank owes me for 3 yards that I cut yesterday, and I about didn't get home in time to cut my own. And that's normally the way it is. Mechanics, their cars are junky. Home builders, they live in rat trap houses. Lawnmower people, grass is waist high at their house. Because we don't have time. We're out there trying to keep the public safe and healthy and clean looking. But that was a great cut over there. Took me about an hour. About an hour.
Evolution. The Lions.
Nathan got a picture. Now that was an additional charge that I provide with my service, that you can take a picture with me if you want to, and you can put it on your Facebook, post it anywhere you want to out there. But that's an additional charge that Frank didn't know about, but he's going to have to pay. How much are them pictures, you might ask? Because you might want one for yourself. $25. $25. And that's if I smile in the picture. Now, if I'm not smiling, 15. But if I'm smiling, 25.
Portal, an annual event aligning the sun in Leo with Sirius and Earth, peaks on.
And I asked him, I said, do you want to get that package plan I got? I got a package plan where I'll be doing some thoughtful gazes and stuff like that. He said, no, Grandpa, Oprah don't want to pay all that, Jamie. I said, well, and I laid it out to him what the cost was. And so he picked the A package, which was, you know how when you was a kid in school, you come home and go, look, Ma, we got pictures at school, and they pick out a package of what photos they wanted, how many different ones, depending on how many relatives you have, because you got to send them out. We used to send mine out for Christmas cards. And so Nathan picked the A package because it was the cheapest. And it was the cheapest package to go with. And that's the one I recommend, because it's a smiling picture, first off. And it's just an all-around good picture. You can hang it up on the mantle come Christmas time, put it up there, put a stocking up under it if you want to, and you can collect some gifts for me. I'd appreciate that. But he said, give me that one. And I said, I'm writing it up right now. I'll put it on the invoice. Frank will be getting a copy.
8-8, a date rich in numerological significance. This alignment is believed to open a gateway for enhanced spiritual connection and manifestation. Simultaneously, 2024 marks the year of the wood dragon in Chinese astrology, symbolizing strength, innovation, and
it says, my comments, people were mentioning Lionsgate's portal opening August the 8th. That's tomorrow.
Israel is in really deep trouble. Right? It's in really deep trouble today. And more importantly, it has no way out. They were unable to defeat Hamas in Gaza, number one. Number two, they're stuck in Gaza, right? They're not getting out. And you remember, they left in 2005 because it was a hornet's nest. They're back in there. Right. Number three, they have no meaningful military solution against Hezbollah. They cannot defeat Hezbollah. And with regard to Iran, even if they get into a war with Iran and they launch lots of missiles and rockets and aerial attacks at Iran and do a lot of destruction, Iran will still be there. And Iran, by the way, is on the road to acquiring nuclear weapons. So they have all of those external problems. Then they have these wicked internal problems, which we saw on display earlier this week surrounding these 9 reservists who were arrested for gang raping a Palestinian prisoner. And by the way, that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the horrors that the Israelis have been inflicting on the Palestinians. But anyway, these 9 reservists who engaged in this gang rape were arrested. And the end result is that ultra-rightists broke in to 2 different army bases to reverse this arrest. And if you look at the performance of the police and you look at the performances of the reservists in the IDF, some of whom joined with the protesters, you see that the Israelis run the real risk down the road of a civil war. And finally, you want to understand that what's on display these days is manifest evidence that Israel is heavily dependent on the United States. They cannot fight these wars. They cannot continue like this without American support. We have given them $18 billion in 2024. Just think about that. $18 billion. And we helped them in their military fight with Iran on April 14th. We are giving them all sorts of weaponry. They need us. They need us to provide diplomatic support. So this is not quite the independent country that Israel likes to think of itself as. It is heavily dependent on the United States. So when you take all of these factors into account, you then ask yourself the question, how can they get out of this? Attack Hezbollah in Lebanon? Are we serious? They did this in 1982. They did it in 2006. It was a disaster. Their army is worn out from what's happened in Gaza, where they haven't beaten Hamas. They would be insane to invade Lebanon, even if we were to help them. So how do they fix that problem? How do they fix the problem in Gaza? All of these problems are unfixable. They are in trouble, and they are digging deeper.
Yep. Because everybody's seeing this shit now. Pepper's Farm remembers.
This movie? Who remembers this scene from this movie?
How many people have you treated so far?
Well, we've had 10,009 clinical trials in humans so far.
And how many are cancer-free?
10,009.
So you have actually cured cancer?
Yes, yes.
I Am Legend, is that the one with Will Smith?
Yes, we have.
Now, what if I was to tell you that the scene in that movie where the two ladies are talking to each other has just played out in real life?
Is this as big as it sounds?
You still got the same outfit on.
I mean, it's very early days. So basically, they've discovered that if they use the same technology that they use for COVID, and they use some mRNA, which is a messenger part of DNA, they take your particular cancer, they biopsy it,
basically the same outfit.
Take some of the protein on your cancer, and they put it back into your cells.
Yo, now I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go and get myself a German Shepherd and a GT 500 just in case.
The information from the Dominion vote.
Colorado courtroom lawyers for the brave clerk and recorder of Mesa County revealed to the judge that Dominion voting machines and Secretary of State plotted and deleted records from the machines after the 2020 election, disguising it as a system update.
Voting system that they
A moron, here's some more proof for you.
searched on August 10th.
This is in a courtroom, moron.
It had been wiped.
I just flew halfway across the country to be here in person for one of these.
That's an ugly ass truck, man. I don't know. Would you? Nope. You couldn't give me one of them. Nope. You can give me the money that it costs. I'll take that. But I don't want. I wouldn't want that.
Most important and historic stories.
Well, give it to me. I'll sell it. Cause I'd sell it cheap.
The country right now.
I'll cut you a deal on it right now. What did he say? 100? What did the guy say? 100,000 for that?
Here is the building Tina Peters used to.
Well, just think of all the money you can save on gas, Jamie. Well, what about my electricity bills finna skyrocket?
Work at. She was the election clerk for Mesa County, Colorado, and under federal law and state law, she had a responsibility to preserve election data, including voting machine data. But now she's facing trial for doing her job.
We need everyone in this country right now to tune in and pay attention to this trial.
The problem is the records that include in the preservation that are not included in Dominion's instructions for a backup project include a configuration log, which says whether or not the machine can be accessed. In fact, you have to have the BIOS password in order to change the configuration to allow it to connect to the internet. Something that we are going to learn from this witness in a few moments, that they took away from the clerks, even though the clerk and Dominion has already been established, are the two people in contract for the system. It is the clerk system and Dominion branded software. And Dominion is a vendor who provides maintenance. The disturbing part of this, Your Honor, is those configuration logs are part of the logs that were deleted. One of the biggest ironies in this case is Inspector Cannon will be cross-examined and testify in a little bit, next time he testifies, about a very interesting thing. when he was trying to establish who accessed the system on the 23rd to look at the access logs, they used an outside consultant. They did not get the information from the Dominion voting system that they searched on August 10th because it had been wiped. May 23rd was before the 25th trusted bill. Instead, they turned to the image that was protected and preserved by Ms. Peters that was placed on the internet. That image easily identified because she in this county, not like in 60 of the other 62 counties, only Elbert County did as well. She had preserved who had access to her system. And it clearly shows that Sandra Brown had logged in and Sandra Brown was seated at the computer on the 23rd. Ironically, had she not preserved her access logs, she wouldn't be charged. But by fulfilling her duty, she was charged.
So for keeping the record, she's charged. And they never would have caught it. Bill Gates and his other deadly jabs. 500,000 paralyzed in India. What do you want to get today, Jamie? I want to go down there and get one of them Bill Gates, whatever Bill Gates has got coming off the market. Just give me a shot of it right there in my left arm, if you don't mind. Just give me a shot of whatever Bill Gates is pushing. It's got to be good for you. School kids in Japan learning car maintenance. Kids could be working in the garage when they hit the 6th grade. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get them working early.
Huge column of smoke rising.
Beirut blast was because of child trafficking. Remember that blast when it blowed everything up for miles around?
Then
that was that tunnel. Remember that? Watch this explosion. Boom!
The force of the blast was so strong, its shockwaves blew out glass and tore buildings across the city, ripping balconies off onto the street.
Your coach. Okay, people think, what did they report? What did the news report? Yeah. Fireworks plant caught on fire too close to a
fireworks plant.
Fertilizer storage plant.
Tommy!
No, they had 25.
Tommy T-Bone, Justin Tip Davis. Frank had me cutting grass yesterday, Tommy.
700 tons of ammonium nitrate.
Okay.
Ammonium nitrate. Police in the United Kingdom are now opening their press conferences with Islamic grievance.
To the leaders and elders that have afforded me this. Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum. Shut the fuck up. How about that? Just got back from Home Depot. What's up? This is wife texting him saying, "But baby, where you at?"
Oh shit!
She said, "I went with you, asshole."
Oh shit!
She's standing out front. She's mad as a hornet. Mad as a hornet. Russian Navy ship arrives in Venezuela. Somebody needs to tighten that band up a little bit there. I heard some off keys there. Some of them notes ain't fluid. Y'all ain't been practicing, have you? Well, they got regular jobs. They ain't a Venezuelan band. Them are the guys that just get together on the weekend. Do they got a lead singer? No, but they're looking for one. I was thinking about trying out myself, getting my pipes going. Happy birthday. I'm gonna cut a demo and send it to them and see if they'll hire me. Can't be good. Patriots clearly have some level of control of the fake news. This is most apparent to me on CNN. CNN keeps having on guests speaking the truth, such as Scott Jennings, who is fighting against their narrative every single time he comes on.
His superpower is how normal he is.
Is he? I mean, I don't know. I don't know this guy. I mean, is it normal to let your
biggest city in your state burn while you're the governor for 4 days, destroying thousands of businesses, hundreds of millions of dollars in property damage while you do nothing? Does that sound normal? Is it normal for your wife to say she opened the window so she could let the smell of tire fires waft in so they could take in the smells of this radical chaos and anarchy on the streets of Minneapolis? I don't view any of that as normal. I look at this through the lens of decision making. And in 2 cases, they've showed us who they are. Kamala Harris absolutely bowed down to the radical left in her party by not picking Shapiro,
look at that.
who is Jewish. There was a nasty campaign run against him. Everybody knows it. No one wants to admit it, but everybody knows it. And she wound up choosing the person who was not Jewish and not as talented and not from the state that she has to win. He did a nice job tonight. Everybody could see why he was the best choice, but she couldn't do it because the party is somewhat awash in anti-Semitism. And for Walz, when he did what he did during the riots, to me, it was him saying, I don't have the strength or the character to stand up to this anarchy. So in 2 big decision points for this ticket, they've showed us they will always bow down to the radical left. So I think if you want to talk about normal, to the normal people in this country, bowing down to the radical left is not normal. It shouldn't be normal, and it should be a flashing red light to the normies of America that this is not the ticket for you.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
And I know people will talk to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Never got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
A new world order's allegations. That is a cool son of a bitch. How cool is he? He likes to suck on cock. That's how cool he is. He can't help himself. He was born that way. That's what we've been told. That's Tim Walz's wife. What's up with her? Ew. That's a little scary. Shipping 400,000 Venezuelan gangsters to Chicago. The city announced police will no longer respond to calls from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. 4 weeks ago, lawmakers passed a $54 billion budget that raised taxes by 5%. Lawmakers got a raise. Yeah, that's what they need. They need a raise to tax you more money. Flair for drama, delivering just the margin needed at 3 a.m. I bet you had those voters counted at midnight. Just wanted to keep us the world waiting. That's when they stole it. They stole it! God so loved the world that he... Find me this man, he's about to get platformed. Tristan Tate. Christian street preacher was arrested by British police for the crime of preaching from the Bible.
Gave his only begotten Christ as Lord. He died for our sins. God so loved the world.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be illegal to talk about Jesus Christ. That's what they're going to do. They're going to persecute you if you talk about Jesus Christ being the king.
Gave his only begotten Christ as Lord. He died for our sins. God so loved the world that he gave his only...
And that is the reason why everything is everything, because Jesus Christ died for your sins. John 3:16. This is Walz committing actual stolen valor, saying he went to war when he didn't go to war. He's just another lying Democrat. We done seen a bunch of them. 1 hour Israeli sniper shot dead 7 bystanders in the West Bank. When it happened in Yugoslavia, NATO called it a genocide. It's all right that the Jewish guys do. They can get away with that shit because they were victims. You know, they were victims back in, I think it was World War II, I think it was. It's been a while since I had history class. But that's what they told us. How do you get rid of the bodies? You turn them into diamonds because diamonds are forever. Diamonds are forever. Tim Walz exposes double agent working on behalf of the Chinese government. Flight logs show him traveling back and forth regularly. Throughout his time as governor of Minnesota, they have allegedly been funding his luxurious lifestyle. What would you be doing over there? What would you be doing in China? You're the governor of Wisconsin. Why is this over there trying to get a deal?
Because your pads and wings.
I only asked for the pads.
You said pads with wings, so pads and wings.
Pads with wings, not pads and wings.
What's the difference between pads?
You know what padded wings are?
I realized that I really don't feel Prodigy died from choking on an egg.
Jumping in right here because at that time, as you can see, both of us were really sleepy. It was very late at night. We were having that discussion, and I hadn't even fully comprehended what he said there when he said that.
He's talking about a rapper Prodigy, talking about the Illuminati, and he's dead now. Said he choked on a egg. FBI raids Scott Ritter's home. Ritter is an ex-U.S. intelligence officer who is an expert on war and geopolitics. He has been exposing deep state legacy media lies now on Ukraine for a long time. Oh, it's got to be on the up and up if the FBI are in there. You know you're going to get a fair thing. You know it's going to be fair. X needs to be closed down. Birmingham, England, August the 5th. Armed Muslim patrol members surrounded and attacked a pub after marching around the area looking for white wingers to attack. The rumored far-right protest never materialized. The Muslim riders attacked journalists and show more. Why aren't all communities protected in Britain? Because they're being paid. What is that right there in the background? What is it? Shut it down. Ooh, vey. We see you. Boy, vey. Oh, shit. What's she doing? She's stretching that thing out. She's been to Jamie Chapman's yoga classes. I can tell you right now, she's been to my yoga class. How can you tell? Because she's doing a full split right there. Not many people can do it when they first come into my yoga class, but after they leave, they can do it. Ask Robbie. Work that thing out, girl. Work it. Work it. Yeah. Look at me. Turn around, look over your shoulder at me. You need to smile a little bit more, though. My girl smile. Oh. Cock it up. Ah, cock it up. That's like the question mark right there. That's the question mark. Now, that's so you don't pull no muscles. Happening now, many journalists are reporting that Kamala Harris rally in Eau Claire, Wisconsin is a massive crowd, and the Democrats are charged up, but they're failing to mention the fact that multi-Grammy award winner and Billboard #1 charting band Bon Iver. I don't remember seeing no band there with trumps. A Cuban sandwich in America. A Cuban sandwich in Cuba. They left a little something off the plate there. UN Weapons Inspector Scott Ritter's New York home. What's the reason? Probably got some dirt on somebody. 2016, a grieving mother pled with America to vote for Trump after their Trump-loving 19-year-old son was killed in a car accident. Trump called them, wrote them letters, and brought them on stage. It's because Trump's got a heart. Big as all outdoors. Big as Wyoming's sky. How big is it, Jamie? Pretty big. Jellyfish. Jellyfish. Yeah, that's not a jellyfish. Could be a jellyfish. Reports of mass gangs with weapons roaming the streets of Britain again tonight. Oh, it's gonna get nice over there. I'm telling you, y'all boys better get inside and lock the doors. Lock the doors. Batten down the hatchet. Nellie's been arrested in St. Louis for ecstasy possession, lack of insurance. Let me hear you now. Ooh. Here comes the Boston Salvador trouble. Treblinka, no, and no. Dorja, Bonsoir, no. It has to be Auschwitz then. No, these prisoners aren't even Jews. They're Ukrainians in Soviet extermination gulags. You don't know because Hollywood hasn't made a movie about the Holodomor. Well, who controls Hollywood? Maybe we need to ask them something. Future just there. Uh-oh. You gonna all get one of them cars? I wonder how fast that thing will run, and do you gotta have it put seatbelts on? I see that you got a helmet on. That thing's moving pretty good, but I don't see no other traffic on the street. Oh, it's like a hoverboard. What did it say, Hank? What? It's like Wally. It's like shit from Wally.
You missed the most important thing about Tim Walz. I don't get how nobody's talking about it. He was in the National Guard for decades. As he was traveling to China, communist China, every year, even lived there for a year when the Tiananmen Square massacre occurred. I've got a clearance. I had one in the White House. You can't just live in communist nations and maintain a clearance.
Hello.
How on God's green earth did a member of our armed forces hang out in communist China and travel there year in, year out? Oh yeah.
You know what?
Look into Kamala Harris's husband's connection to China. You'll be shocked. We're going to discuss that so much more today. On America First, across the nation, streaming on Rumble.
You gotta find the key.
You know where to find me. I'm Sebastian Walker. Be there.
Please step down.
Yeah, I don't know. We just gotta find the key. So keep an eye out. Just keep looking for it. All right. How'd you get the door open? All right. All right. Let's see if we can find the key. All right. All right. Bye. They can't find the key to a bus down there. New state plan. Hey Tim Walz, this you? Do you often wear out our crest even though you wear only National Guard with 0 deployments, never went through SFAS or the Q course, and by all accounts never even worked with Special Forces? Called up Army Special Forces for wearing their crest on a camo hat when he was never in SF.
Some questions that I think it's really disgraceful, both for Kamala Harris, but also for a lot of the American media that participates in this stuff, to have a person who's been the presumptive nominee of the Democrat Party for 17 days and refuses to take a single question from the American media. Now, it's well known, of course, that President Trump and I will go anywhere, we'll answer any question because we respect the American people enough to actually ask them for their vote rather than sit in front of a teleprompter, read scripted lines, and run away from every reporter and every actual citizen who's going to decide this election. I think it's a scandal, and I think the vice president should be ashamed of herself. So hopefully our reporters out there in the audience will start doing their job a little bit and going and demanding that Kamala Harris actually answer to the American people. And I want to just point.
Damn. The hell is that? Sasquatch? What the hell?
Но не коротко, потому что зима и холодно будет. Но просто колется под рубашкой, немножко подровнять. Очень странная работа. Многим женщинам
nравится. He could live in the Arctic Circle and not get cold. He could run around outside with his shirt off. Wouldn't catch a cold. Why can't you play that music? Well, that's Germany, Jamie. Germany did some bad things. Didn't you remember in history class what they told you? What who told? You talking about them government indoctrinated school teachers? What they told me? Yeah, they told me a whole bunch of shit like I could wear 2 masks and couldn't catch the COVID, and if I did catch the COVID, I couldn't give it to somebody if I got the shot. Stop all that fake shit.
Olha lá, como é que vai ficar assim, pô? Fala. Olha lá, como é que tá? Mal. Aí, mal, fala aí. Caralho, olha lá. Quem lembra aquele rap da Furacão 2000? Incorporado! É o diabo! Incorporado! Caralho! Demais, mano. Que isso, mano? Como é que vai ficar assim, viado? Caralho, muito louco. Olha lá. Incorporado! Olha os olhos da criança. Olha lá. Como é que vai ficar assim, pô? Fala.
6 million! It didn't happen. Uncorrupted man. There wasn't no movie made about that. There's been a shitload of movies. Democracy is on the ballot. 17,015,756 primary votes. Zero primary votes for Kamala. 1 backroom deal. Hello? Hello? Kamala's in outer space. Look at that, Butch. Shaquille said his penis is tingling. Stop touching it. Hardest part of parenting has become protecting your kids from Democrats.
Officer just asked me if I'm good. I said yes, sir.
I'm good. I just weighed myself. I weigh 209 pounds. And he said, okay.
Switzerland is the first country in the world to ban mammography. Yeah, they're saying that's not good for women to be taking them mammograms, you know, where they smash their boobs. I never understood that. You think, what are you going to do today? I'm going to go to get mammography where they're going to take my titty and just smash that sumbitch flat. How can that be good? Doing that to your titty. Well, they're just checking for the cancer. I don't even want to know. You ain't finna be smashing my titty like, does that hurt? I imagine it does. Kamala Harris and tampon. They're calling him Tampon Tim because he allowed tampons into the boys' bathroom. Check it out. She got a Trump tattoo on her forehead. She's a moron. You're stupid as hell if you get that. I don't care how. You're stupid. You're retarded. All right there, fellas. We appreciate all y'all being over here. Thanks for hanging out. We got 3 over on the Kick side. We got 6 over on the YouTube side. We appreciate you being here. I'm finna go cut some grass, and it's hot out there. So I need to get this shit done because it ain't getting no cooler. Well, it will later on in the day, but I'm going home later on. But we appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping by. Frank, you're going to get that bill, Frank. 3 yards yesterday, Frank, at the low price of $2.25 a piece. You can't beat it. Plus the pictures. Now, I don't know who them other people were that got pictures of me. I don't know if they've ever been on here or not, but they probably have. But we will holler at y'all later on. Y'all have a good one. Later.